Hey, hi, hey guys. Okay, so that was a Game of Thrones episode.
Yeah.
Beyond the Wall.
Yep.
706.
Yep.
706. That was a Game of Thrones episode. I'm James.
I'm James.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Joel.
Here we are talking about that Game of Thrones episode. It was an episode, wasn't it?
It was.
Yep.
We went Beyond the Wall.
That was over 60 minutes of a television program called Game of Thrones.
It was almost a movie, and it says someone says we're very quiet.
Oh.
We probably are very quiet. Here, I'm going to try to push us up a little bit. Tell us if we distort.
Yeah. I'll keep talking. I'll
yeah.
keep talking because I can be loud. I can be boisterous.
Don't-
like when I'm heating up nachos. I'm just
Don't
talking.
use gay derogatorily, or you're going to get put in timeout.
Yeah. You're going to sit in the naughty corner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Naughty corner.
They said it.
So, there wasn't anything.
Okay, how's this? Is this better?
We good?
I almost spilled a beer. All right. Yeah. James and Joel have copious notes.
We
Yeah, I
have
got some
copious
I'm so happy.
notes.
This is the
Because-
first episode of the season we watched twice.
We did?
Yes, that was nice. That was real nice.
Yeah.
So we start with let's just go chronologically. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
That sound good?
I love
Because
it.
then we can relive our feelings towards the episode as they evolve. You know?
Yeah.
So it starts with that kind
That's
of
true. Yeah.
So it starts with that kind of artsy shot at Dragonstone that maybe you forgot about. It like pans over the board and into the fire. Is it panning north on the map?
I think it was
I believe,
because
I believe so.
Sure.
we panned past the Vale of Arryn, and the words of Vale of Arryn are facing the right way, so we would
Got
be
it.
going
Thank you.
north.
Okay, so that's why that was to set up. We're going north, and then we start in with the Magnificent Seven. And these scenes are great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? You know when Game of Thrones is good is when they let their actors be really fucking great, and they give them really good dialogue to play with, and we get some like really good character stuff that I really appreciated. Although I was very nervous the entire time because in a situation like this, it was a lot of character stuff to the point where I was like, man, they're gonna kill everyone.
Yeah.
They're making us just remember how much we love every single one of these characters.
Especially Tormund. Tormund
Especially
got the most.
Tormund.
He got so many good lines,
It's-
talking about how do you possibly live up here? Well, you gotta run, you gotta fight, or you could just fuck.
Fucking's best.
Fucking
yeah,
smash.
fucking's best.
And he says they'll make do without
They'll
women.
make do, yeah.
And I wonder how many people took that as like he'll do gay shit, but like he's talking about bears.
No.
Oh.
I think he was
Well,
talking
he's
about
giving
making eyes
shit
at
to
Gendry.
Gendry.
Yeah. He's trying to scare
like,
him.
Hey, green Southern boy. Like,
I thought that was a reference to his reputation in the books and that
No.
he fucked a bear.
I
it
think
might
he-
work both ways, but I think
here.
yes, here he's giving shit to Gendry. He's
Okay.
giving shit to Gendry, which was great, which was a lot of fun.
But also, I would not mind that this could have just turned into an orgy to keep warm.
I know, right?
All
That's what I
these
wanted. It's
handsome
like they
men.
could all
Guys,
get
that would be
they could all get
dirty.
naked for warmth.
Like that would be like physically and
Yeah, but
health
like
risky
it'd
dirty.
be better
Okay.
if I wrote this episode.
That's what would happen.
Yeah.
He mentions Mance Raider. Important
Yes,
that
which
comes up
is
later.
important. Yeah.
Because he says that a bunch of people died because Mance Raider wouldn't bend the knee, and they died because of his pride
Mm-hmm.
with Jon, and that's fun.
And that even recalls a conversation that he, Jon, and Dany had an episode or two ago. Why he wouldn't bend the knee.
Yeah,
it's almost an echo of the Mance Raider conversation.
There's been a couple instances this season and recently where Jon has echoed like exact phrases or paraphrased from Mance, and I think that hitting this so close with Tormund, how many of his people died because of Mance's pride, really resonates with Jon for a conversation that he has later. That's shot weird, but we'll get to that.
Oh,
And I like
gosh.
that Tormund is like he reflects on that, and I like that he sounds kind of accusatory towards Mance. You know, whereas you
Yeah.
don't want him to just go on forever being like Mance was the best. He's able to reflect and be like, yeah, that fucked us up.
Well, I think that Tormund knows that Mance did things that Tormund couldn't do, just in the same way that Jon does things that Tormund can't do. Tormund is very, he's very aware of his own limitations and the things that are needed for survival. He's not a prideful man at all. He's very willing to say, this is something that I can't do and I need help with it. And it's something that comes up later in the battle where when he's overwhelmed with whites and he asks for, he like calls out to the rest of the seven. So, but we're jumping ahead a little bit. Other conversations. There were a lot of great ones.
Because this was fun because it's like all these characters by now have intersected and met each other, and they have all these weird intertwining histories. And this was a nice opportunity while they're walking in the middle of nowhere to like touch on those. And so like Gendry talking to the Brotherhood, like, you guys sold me. I want to be part of you.
Mm-hmm. I liked that whole where he's like, he sold me to a witch and she threw me down on a bed and got me naked. I'm like, that sounds good. Shut up.
Yeah, work on your framing techniques.
Yeah.
Gendry.
I really liked Sandor. Like, this one's died 6 times and you don't see him bitching.
Yeah.
Yeah, that because Sandor comes back with that humor of like, oh, it doesn't sound so bad to me, and then he like turns on the humor with the humor to like a decent point where he's like, yeah, well, this guy's actually died, so whatever, you're still alive.
Do you think any of Sandor's kind of reaction here to Gendry and to his kind of like get over it, there's bigger things at stake, comes from his experience with Ian McShane and everything, like his like near death experience and kind of rebirth? Like, is he
No, I feel like he's always been that way.
But this is normally it would just be like, fuck it, this is shitty. Like, he's like, there's a bigger thing at stake.
Mhm.
Don't complain and
Okay,
just do
sure.
your job.
Reframe it.
Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because him and Beric both talk about like things in terms of like the best possible thing is to be alive.
Yes.
That's kind of their ethos.
Yep.
Is to like be alive and fulfill a purpose. And
Death is the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I thought that's not the name of this episode.
It's not.
No,
that
it's
was
Beyond
rumored
the
to be,
Wall.
but it's beyond the wall.
Okay. And then there's the Jorah Jon conversation. And what I really like about this one is that it really is just like, yeah, these are people at the end of the world who might die. They can just be real with each other.
Yeah.
And so that's why Jon's able to be like, yeah, I'm glad Ned didn't find you and, capture you.
I liked how they both talked about their fathers' deaths being the worst possible outcomes for those people as they were, because Ned being executed for being dishonorable is the worst it could possibly get, and to have everyone to have members of the Night's Watch betray Gior is just so antithetical. I love that they made that comparison with these two guys.
I loved that scene. I've been looking forward to Jorah and Jon talking for a long time, and it was good. It lived up to it. Like, that was really good acting from both of them. I like Jon kind of not it. Jon didn't jump to, well, this is your sword. It was like, let me see what kind of person you are, and then when he kind of deemed that Jorah, had kind of remorse, I think, in his heart, he was like, this is your father's sword. This is your family's sword.
Should have had a better son.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm also glad that it wasn't about Dany. I wouldn't have minded
Yeah.
it, but
Oh yeah.
I'm glad it was about the two of them and not about Jorah being like, well, this another guy trying to get with Dany.
I think part of it too is like Jon's connection to Ned, who like he believes is his real father, and I think he, out of all characters, is one to understand just like the importance of this connection between the son and father, and I think he really feels like, no, it's super important that this guy has his dad's sword, because like that comes before anything else.
Yeah.
For him,
And so it's equally as meaningful when Jorah's like, no, it's for you.
How much weight do you guys give Jorah's line about
Having a successor?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he drops that in there.
What did he say?
He's like, make sure this
And your
sword's for you
children.
and your children after you.
Yeah.
We get 3 big call-outs this episode to Jon's children or Dany's children. It's an interesting path that they're thinking about right now.
Do you think it's foreshadowing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure
Yeah.
to what
Apparently
yet.
our audio and video is out of sync. Is that
It shouldn't
Is that
be.
an OBS setting that is maybe run amok? The offset, if you will. Has that always been that way? Sorry, guys.
Without like plugging in headphones, I don't know what the offset is. Are
Okay.
we out of sync, Liz?
Oh, hey, she can-
how much which way?
Yeah. So
Here I'm gonna clap. Guys, headphone users, I'm gonna clap. Ready? 1, 2, clap. In front or behind?
calm Calm down, J.K. Simmons.
The video goes
Okay.
first.
There's
Okay.
a little lag to work with.
So I need
try it
to
again in a
turn-
second.
I need to turn the offset down, right?
100. Sorry, guys. We just want this to be better for you.
All right, I'm gonna do this one again. Ready? 1, 2, clap.
I like how you went to say one more time, and then you were like, no, I might need to do it more than one more time. I'm going to do this again.
Yep. Is that better?
Liz is in this room.
Great. Is it like close enough? Okay, we're
All
gonna
right.
say
All right.
close enough.
Do 250.
Cool.
Okay. Let us know.
Still
It's 'cause
late.
we care.
Okay, I'm gonna
Well,
bump
they
it
haven't
down.
caught up.
Or 200.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right.
Here, we'll do 250,
All right.
And
there.
that should be fine.
That
and
should
that
be
should
good
be
enough.
fine. I'm gonna clap one more time. Okay.
Oh, film student.
Yeah, now you guys can understand why we do that in Drunk Disney live streams.
Yep.
Now you just got the first-hand account. Cool.
Close enough as the house words of practical folks.
Oh, that was good.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Good job.
Thanks,
Clapped well.
guys. Question mark.
Shit, now I don't know what we're talking about. We're still talking about Jorah and Jon.
Jorah and Jon.
Oh, Succession.
Succession,
yeah,
yeah,
kids.
the kids
rules
line.
of
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
How much foreshadowing is it? What is it foreshadowing?
I feel like they're gonna have some kids.
I agree.
You know,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
and,
Who?
and
Jon and Danny.
Jon and Dany.
But Danny, she
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah,
and let me
okay.
point out the reason, because I've seen some confusion about this just online in general, not necessarily in like the chat or anything. But in case anyone's confused, why is it that Dany thinks she can't have kids? It's mostly because way back in season 1, when she asks Miri Mazdor to help her bring Khal Drogo back, she says something to the effect of like, death, like only death can pay for life. She loses her baby and says you'll only have another child when like the sun rises in the west, and like there's this whole prophecy.
That could maybe be fulfilled by metaphorical solutions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like stuff, and I don't know the exact wording because I'm sure it's different between the books and the show. So I forget what's in the show, but I think sun settling in the west is one of them.
And like the
I'm sorry,
mountains being blown
rising
away
from
by
the west.
wind or like some weird.
Yeah, so that's something
Yeah.
we'd have to look at.
Oh, I
if
just
anyone
had a
has that
thought.
information.
To conquer the the Seven Kingdoms, you must, go south to King's Landing. But she went north to go south. Like this episode, she went north.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she did go north.
Yeah.
to
Maybe
south,
You have to
sure.
go east to go west. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and she did already go
She
east
did.
to go
Already
west.
did go
Yeah.
east, go west. So
Again, I don't think those words are necessarily in the
They're
show.
not.
I
but
don't
I'm
But
remember.
it's fulfilling
but
those purposes, especially if these broad strokes are followed, are taken from George.
It makes sense that they would fulfill prophecies mentioned in the book, but not in the show, just because they're probably just bigger picture things that need to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Should we move on to the first
Yeah.
Arya Sansa scene?
Yeah. Oh, what does dying do to your sperm count? Do we think John's okay?
just jacks it right up.
Yeah.
He's just got one great
One
one.
mega
His
sperm.
his body reacts and is like, "Oh, guys, that was too close.
That
We
was
gotta-
too
we gotta
close.
get
We
you
gotta
over-
Shut
really,
it out.
yeah,
Yeah.
crank it up to ludicrous
Yeah.
speed.
Oh, we did.
Very dissatisfying though for Danny.
Oh.
Were there? Do you want to hit the rest of the conversations before we get to them?
Oh,
sure,
Jorah-
sure. Because there's
Jorah talks to Thoros and is like, "You were amazing. You were so great in the
Oh,
in the
yeah.
Greyjoy
later, but
Rebellion."
Sure, like that's a cool thing to reference because in I forget if it's mentioned in the show.
It is.
Yeah, it is, 'cause-
mentioned in the show
the
because
specifics of
I think Jorah and Barristan talk about it.
oh, that makes sense. Back in season 1, then.
Yeah.
Or,
Season
oh, no, I'm sorry,
three?
season 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
It would be Jorah and Thoros were the first two over the castle walls fighting Balon's rebellion,
Mm-hmm.
and Thoros was actually the first with his flaming sword.
That's where Jorah got his knighthood.
That's right, and
Yeah.
that was when, for instance, Theon became ward to the Starks.
Yeah.
That failed rebellion. So it's cool to see them like talking about, it, especially because you were saying like that was a long time ago now.
It's a long time ago now. It was when Theon was like 10. And
And they're old men now.
they're old men now, and for Jorah to be like, "You were so amazing, like that was such a huge influence on me," and then Thoros to be like, "I was just drunk." Never meet your heroes, guys.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: that happens after Thoros is almost killed by the
Oh,
bear.
it is.
And so
Oh,
it's a cool thing for
sorry.
him to bring up as a like, "Hey, man, you might be on
You're
your
gonna-
way
you're
out,
gonna
but
pull
you were,
through.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
amazing."
thinking of it as like he knows he's gonna die, and it's like, "Hey, you were a cool guy."
Sure.
It's like
Yeah.
eulogizing or
You Googleize it.
Yeah,
Google
celebrating
it.
him before he goes.
Sure.
Letting him know. Tom
Shit,
Sawyer at the funeral.
I didn't. Yeah. I didn't
Yeah, we
mean
don't
get
want to
that
pull
out
you off of the chronology.
Yeah, we're
Well,
trying
go ahead.
really
Well,
hard.
the other pre-bear conversations are Tormund with the Hound,
Great.
Oh,
which is an awesome pair.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
How did a fucker like you live this long? That's a great question.
He's good at killing people. And let's not forget that Tormund slaughtered a bunch of innocent villagers in the north in the neck.
I mean, so did
Can you not
Ygritte, and
forget
so
about
did,
that?
You know.
Yeah, but she's not still around to like think of as a cuddly teddy bear.
If they were all like Ollie, I don't mind.
They were his parents. I mean, if you give birth to that kid, you can't.
Wait, what? I'm sorry.
The fact that Tormund murdered a bunch of
He's saying
innocent
Tormund
Northerners-
murdered-
He
Who hasn't murdered
but
someone
not
in
like
Game of
that.
Thrones?
Not,
You could
no
make-
one traveling with them has
you could-
murdered people like that except kind of the Hound.
He wasn't
The
a
Hound
cannibal
definitely
about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, the
His
Hound
other
Hound
guys
murdered
were.
Micah.
That's true, but it was in the name of his like.
No,
You
he's
could-
just following orders.
And he was really sad about it. Go read Game of Thrones and look at that last page from
not
that
true.
chapter.
And didn't Tormund say, "Oh, but your eyes are sad"? And Hound's like, "Shut the fuck up, man."
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
See, Tormund knows.
Tormund needling the Hound is so
I love
great.
those two
Tormund knows that the Hound is sad. This is Sandor now, guys. Leave it. It's not the Hound.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Are you the dog?
Or you're the
Sandor.
one they call the dog.
Yeah. Oh, they're cute together. I kind of ship them together now because now Brienne's going to King's Landing and is going
Ugh.
to be together with Jamie.
But so is Sandor. So maybe we can just switch it all up and get a Sandor Brienne.
No,
ship.
Sandor
They were.
Sandor Jamie.
Sandor Jamie. No, Jamie Brienne forever.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
But
I
Tormund
love
wants to make
Tormund's
Mountain
crush,
Chat.
though. I love it, but
I'll go down with that ship.
I mean, the Tormund thing is such a show invention that I can't see it having any weight. I think it's just there for levity.
Yeah. Which
Which it
which
provides.
that actor is great at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
I also
Um,
loved red gingers are beautiful.
Yeah. Kissed by
Kissed by
fire.
fire.
oh, you're kissed by
We
fire
haven't
too.
gotten kissed by
Tormund is
fire in
so
a long
precious.
time.
Yeah, they hit his character in a great way. Just the things that we love about it.
If anybody in the chat can remind us of that actor's name.
Tormund.
Tormund?
Yeah.
I
It's
know he's in,
Icelandic.
like,
Very Icelandic.
He's in those like hotel commercials. I forget.
And he's wonderful in them.
Yeah. I forget which ones though.
What's next, James?
Well, then it's the Beric Jon conversation. And I think that I hope that this episode cements for show watchers that Beric Dondarrion is a fucking badass.
Yes.
I
I
really
was-
hope so.
That was probably the highlight of this episode for me, was getting more Beric, because I love Beric so much.
I
but
love
he
Beric.
tends to be overlooked because we haven't seen him in a while. Like, I don't know, he's kind of a background character, even
Well,
though he's.
He's in what, season 3?
Yeah.
And then gone
3,
until
It's
season
maybe-
been a
maybe
long-ass
4.
time.
Yeah, and the mythology around him, we don't get as much like close to the small folk. The stories about
Mm-hmm.
Beric that we get in
Yeah.
the books.
I
Oh,
have
that's
said
true.
many times during book club, RIP, just thinking like if I had to marry someone in the Game of Thrones series, which is hard because there's not a lot of great people in Song of Ice and Fire. Beric.
Dickon Tarly.
Dickon is good, but like show Dickon. We don't
Yeah, but do you
see
want
him.
Randall
We
as
don't
your
know.
father-in-law?
We don't know.
That's true, I
We don't know
want
Book
Randall
Rickon.
as
That's
my
true.
father-in-law.
kidding
Book
me?
Rickon could be like
But I think Beric would be my number one choice for like.
Beric's
dude
my
that would- 'cause
boy.
He's good.
Beric is awesome.
Yo, my flair on the Song of Ice and Fire subreddit is
Yeah, you were an
Dondarrion.
early Dondarrion
That's from
adopter.
years ago,
Yeah.
man. And it's also a quote. Are you my mother, Thoros?
My flair on the subreddit's House Manderly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But Beric's fucking great. Love him. Eye
Yeah.
patch, and his voice is amazing. But yeah, I love that he converts Jon.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Well, I was gonna say I wouldn't
you
want to
think-
marry Book Beric because there's a little bit of a difference between Book Beric and Show Beric. Like he's been raised these many times, but seems to like lose humanity
Oh,
each
yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's true.
But he's
Sure.
still like good and wouldn't murder you.
He
Yeah.
would not murder
The
you.
standards are low, Joel.
But I
I
like
love
that
him.
they kind of address. They sort of bring that in a little bit with figuring out if you've been brought back so many times, like maybe you're not around to feel joy. Maybe that's not what your purpose is, but you have a bigger purpose.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. I love that he's talking about Lord of Light, and Jon's like, no, I'm good. And then Beric just kind of breaks it down for him in terms, like a really good religious person might be able to do, to be like, no man, see, you do believe in the same stuff as me, we just call it different things.
Yeah.
And John's like, oh, the oath. the
Yeah.
vows, yeah.
I just want to, just really quick, there's a question in the chat. Are we going to get to the fact that nothing made fucking sense in this episode? Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
don't worry.
Well,
Don't you
we're
fucking
just
we're,
trying to not
we're,
on a
we're
journey.
starting with the
we're
things that
starting
we
with
like.
the good stuff
this stuff's
so that we
great.
keep you
These
here.
conversations are legit.
Yeah.
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 We
They're a
wanna-
lot
we
of
wanna
fun.
start
They're
with the
great
good.
acting.
We
Yeah.
want to turn you guys off. I mean, we'll spew the
Yeah,
truth
yeah.
though.
This-
Stick
the-
around.
Don't
'cause-
worry.
Stick
We
around
have
because we're
very
about to get
strong
very
opinions.
upset.
The situations the situation that they're in that prompts these conversations, not great.
Ludicrous.
That's true. We can say that right now because it's not out of order.
This-
the plan.
But the plan is
Okay,
fucking.
here-
Just a reminder about the plan
Stupid.
and how it's dumb.
It's dumb.
Oh my god.
Like, okay, let me.
Oh
can I say
God.
a quick thing? Just a quick thing.
Sure, man. What's
Okay.
up?
Okay, so we're gonna get the end of this episode. Just a quick line from Dany saying, like, I don't regret that we went. If I didn't go, I wouldn't have seen. Well, it seems like she believed when she saw the cave drawings. So it's either that she needs to go north with all of her power, because if she believes, then she should go north. And she's like, oh, but Cersei, like, just take everyone. There's nothing for Cersei to attack. Or
You can't
if
take
Dany's,
everyone.
yeah, well, I say take the Dothraki, take all three
That's
dragons.
absurd.
That's a lot
That's
of people to move.
absurd.
You got to feed them on that journey.
Yeah.
I understand not taking the
The dragons go somewhere.
Take a
I'm just
fucking
saying, if you go in
dragon.
force,
Yeah. Just take
or
Um,
I don't think Dany shouldn't have believed. Like, who convinced Cersei? Like, she's not going to believe.
convincing
Or it
Cersei
also
thing.
doesn't matter. Like, Cersei doesn't have the forces for it.
thing.
Who cares? But Dany should have been the one questioning.
Yeah. Basically, the way we're structuring this after show is the way you give constructive criticism. Like, you say the really nice stuff first, and then you give the criticism, and we're going to. I
Two
promise.
pairs or small groups of very good actors talking to each other
Yes.
is when this show is the best. We've said it 1,000 times. And
And when they're behaving,
when they're behaving to
rational
the
people.
top of their intelligence
Yes.
as characters.
And that's when Game of Thrones is good, is when the characters, behave believably and, act to the top of their intelligence.
And the plan notwithstanding, which is stupid.
It's stupid. It's
stupid.
never not going to be
It's a
It's
stupid.
never
stupid.
not going to be.
Even if
There's
it's in the
no
books,
way to
it's stupid.
justify
Yes,
that plan.
even if George
I-
came up with that.
oh my
But
God.
I just feel
There's no way. If
because-
I'll stop. if that's the plan in the books, if that's what I've waited so many fucking years to read, is we're gonna go up north, and then
capture
Cold Hands is gonna save me.
But the thing that makes me believe it's a total show invention is the makeup of the group is like, we have to take these characters.
We have to
Yeah.
take a
And
bunch
also-
of
put them
characters that
together
everybody-
and do
Jorah
something
wouldn't
with them.
have gone because Jorah just got
Yeah.
back.
Okay.
He wouldn't have volunteered. We can talk about that later.
Okay, yeah. We're losing control
Yeah,
a little bit here.
anyway.
Let's-
Okay.
The plan
Okay.
is stupid.
Tyrion and Dany is the next scene.
Yeah.
Fun. Amelia Clarke doing a good job when he calls her out on
she's
the
doing
this
it.
Jon Snow thing. Her reaction.
She's doing as good a job as she can.
All right.
When he says-
Tyrion gets to be Tyrion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyrion gets to advocate for a democracy.
Yes.
Yeah, he slips that in. How the Night Watch does it by voting.
He
potentially.
does. Yeah, Night's Watch votes for its leader, and Tyrion mentions as like, if you
And
destroy the wheel,
The
Iron
Ironborn.
Islands.
A
They
king's
also
moot
is
is
a
a form
democracy.
of democracy.
Yeah.
That's true too. I mean, it's sort of like
meritocracy.
it's about loud voices and
Sure.
gold.
yeah.
in
But
some
have you
cases
turned on
in
the
the
news
books.
lately?
Good job.
Tyrion has
Nice.
a couple
Thanks,
things.
guys.
In addition to succession, he also talks about thinking like his enemies because he wants to be able to anticipate their actions. And I wish she had called him out a little more because he's been terrible at this season. Like, think about the last time Tyrion
Yeah,
made a
that's a
good
good
strategic
point.
decision. It wasn't season 7, it wasn't season 6.
No, arguably it was season 6.
I-
Inviting the Masters to Marine and then pulling the switch on them.
Yeah.
That worked.
Once Dany got back. Yeah, it worked eventually.
Oh,
Guess my
can
mic's a
you
little
can you
low.
turn me and Chelsea up a little bit?
You were hitting red. I'll turn you back up, though.
But yeah, what bothers me is Dany getting on Tyrion's back about you're thinking too much about our enemies, and it seems like you're thinking about your family side and blah blah blah. If Tyrion had been doing that to the fullest of his capabilities, they wouldn't have lost they wouldn't have lost Highgarden, and they wouldn't have, like the Casterly Rock. I think maybe the reason they, Casterly Rock was such a failure is because they weren't getting so deep into the Lannisters' into Cersei's head. You know, like.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's Cersei thought one step ahead of him on that.
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like that shows like no, that's why you need to be thinking in the you need to be in the heads of your enemies because of shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And for all of Tyrion's professing that to be his philosophy and how he works, in speaking to Dany, he's not finding the best way to sell her on his ideas. He's still trying to convince her of things that she doesn't want to be convinced of. He brings up succession, and again, not in a way that she's ready to hear. Like, he's not thinking like she's thinking.
Well, she still blames him for losing Dorne and Highgarden. Like she
Yeah, for
solidly
sure.
puts the blame for that shit
And
directly on him.
I wish she were also then thinking, none of these ideas have panned out. He talks about Cersei being like ready with a trap when they go to King's Landing for this meeting. And they'll have home base advantage. I think we got mention of the Golden Company earlier this season for a reason. And he says, you know what? We shouldn't spring a trap, though. Let's break the wheel. We shouldn't be dishonest. Dude, this is not a good idea.
I think it's so dumb.
What?
I think this whole like parlay instance,
It sucks.
this deal,
you
this
don't
trying to get all of our favorite characters on the same side
Yeah.
is ludicrous.
I just think one of the things that frustrates me so much about like this grand plan and this way to like get all the characters together rests on Tyrion fully believing that parlaying with Cersei is the best idea right now. I don't believe that at all.
It is difficult to understand that thinking.
I just don't think Tyrion would ever want to get near her.
Because I know that he has said, oh, she's going to try something. And maybe he thinks like, oh, we can try something back.
But like,
But why
What?
risk it?
And why put yourself in that position? Yeah.
Well, I guess let's think. He
Also-
doesn't want to
oh.
dragon fire King's Landing.
Yeah.
We also got to mention this episode, and we'll get to the Sansa stuff, but we got to mention that Cersei sent a letter up there asking for Sansa to come down.
That's
Why?
so out of fucking nowhere. It
Yeah.
could be fake.
That's later in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it
like,
could be
why would
fake.
Cersei want her
I
there?
think it's fake.
I
Sansa
swear to
goes
God.
and burns it immediately. There's a chance it's fake, just to get rid of Brienne.
Did
We'll
she
talk
burn
about
it?
that.
Oh,
Yeah, she did burn it.
you know what?
We'll talk about
I
that
could
when we
see
get
that.
to it,
I would like
yeah.
that a lot better.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Shit was there. Oh, you know what? I could believe at this point, because we're off the fucking rails and the show is in Crazy Town, that all of this, even the capture a white thing, even killing a dragon, even all that stuff, is a way to make Clegane Bowl happen. I could believe it.
I was
at
thinking
this
about
point.
like that's what they're doing.
You know
that's
what?
all.
They're like, fuck it. Fan service. Everyone wants Clegane Bowl. No one's gonna be upset that Clegane Bowl happens. I'll be so fucking excited. It'll be my favorite episode
Will
ever.
you forgive this episode if it gives?
Yeah,
us
sure.
Clegane?
Because the show, you know what? The show already lost all faith I had in it with like just all of season 5 and what they did to Sansa and what they did to the Sand Snakes. Like, fuck it.
true.
Just do dumb shit
If all
and make
they're
Clegane Bowl
doing-
happen and make it cool and fine.
If all they're doing is like, all right, all we know is the absolute ending of the story and R plus L equals J, and then now they're just like, whatever we need to do to get
Yeah,
to those
sure.
things.
Fuck it. I don't care anymore.
Just end result.
The show is ridiculous. So nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why of the anyone who could bring it? Why would they send Sandor there? Like, it'll be immediately like, you abandoned your king. We're gonna arrest you. Trial by combat. Okay.
I really think. Here's something though, like that you kind of are hinting at though, Chelsea. Like, if you take away wanting to look at this show critically or compare it in a critical way
Oh, yeah, it's great.
against itself, this was a really fun episode.
Yeah. If you turn your brain off.
No, it was cool.
Yeah.
No, it was a very.
It was a cool,
episode,
yeah.
But as soon as you like, okay,
But that's what I'm saying.
You're right.
That's
you're
what
right.
I'm
As soon
saying.
as
You're
you
right.
think.
You're right, yo.
As soon
I'm
as you
sorry.
think for like a second.
My sister was texting me and she was like, "This is great."
Whoa,
Like, she was
Gresso
really-
calling out his sister.
Hey,
on
Danielle,
the
no.
internet.
Danielle's not watching. It
Oh, but
critically.
someone about to text her though.
No, she's not watching.
Yo,
Danielle's
anyone,
not watching.
anyone back in Dexter?
Yeah. It's just it sucks because that's not the reason why
She's
I
in
watched this
Chicago,
show.
Dexter.
I love thinking about this show. Like, I love thinking about
I know that's the
characters'
thing.
behaviors and like when you
Well,
have
we got an
twists
ice
or big
dragon,
events
guys.
when they're
Spoiler-
earned.
Spoiler alert. We got.
Yeah, there's a nice
He
dragon.
gave us
whatever.
an ice dragon. But we're
'Cause
not
they
there
wanted
yet.
that ice
We're not
Everything,
there.
everything was about that.
Oh
ice
God,
dragon.
I have
okay.
things to say
Well,
Sorry.
We gotta get back.
I know.
before you-
Put the crazy train back on the
They
rails.
do set up the ice dragon in the next scene with the Wight Bear.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
White-
Good
Yeah.
segue,
Yeah.
James.
You're
Good
damn
jump
right.
scare too, because you see
Great
that White
jump
Bear
scare.
off in front of you,
White
but
Bear,
then
I like.
White
I
Bear to
have
the
seen
side.
some
They
people on the
clever
internet.
girled us.
Yeah, I have seen some people on the internet be like, "Oh, zombie bear, that's dumb." No, fuck that. White Bear's awesome.
Yeah.
I
Leo's
think.
here.
Yeah,
the,
White
Oh,
Bear's
Leo, what up?
Hey.
Leo.
Yeah, in the books there are white mammoths. There's all kind of white stuff. There are
Yeah,
white
there's ice spiders.
There's not on the show. fuck you, James.
I wish there were.
There's horses. We've had horses since season 2.
Yeah,
so
you can do a horse, you can do a bear.
yeah,
Yeah, White Bear was fucking cool.
Where are we even?
We're at the
I'm
White Bear.
so
we're
sorry.
like 10 minutes into the show.
And there is a shot here of Jon rushing. Okay, so the one Vanguard guy,
Jon
the guy way
rushes
up ahead,
in.
gets killed by the bear, and then Jon like rushes in to handle it. And I think that's them being like, "See, this is what he does, so it'll make sense later." It doesn't make sense.
It
later,
doesn't ever
but
make sense.
There is that
Jesus.
shot where they're trying to sell it. Also, I was counting kills here, and as much as
I
the
Were-
first-
James,
love
were
that
you counting
did
kills?
this. I
Why
love
on
so
earth?
much because we watched the episode once
Yeah.
and we were like, huh. There were a lot of red shirts that got offed. Was
were
it consistent?
unexpected
yeah,
amount
were
of
they
red
regenerating?
James sat
It
there-
felt like they were regenerating.
James
but
sat there
no.
with like a scratch pad
Yes.
the whole episode and kept track, and no, it was consistent.
Yeah, the bear, because 13 people go out, so that's the Magnificent Seven and 6 red
I'm glad they
shirts.
had all that padding there, so we didn't really lose anyone.
Yeah.
Just one guy.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Right.
wouldn't that have sucked?
We'll talk about that. But yeah, so we had 6 red shirts, and the White Bear actually kills 3 of them because it takes out the one Vanguard guy, and then it kills
Was
2 in
it
the
2
fight.
or 1? Because they set one on fire, and then the other one I thought came in, the bear. Because remember,
It was 2 bears.
yeah,
there
was
were 2
there was a
bears.
bear way down there. Yeah, because they're looking at a bear way down there. They get surprised by the one that comes in
Yeah.
from the
How'd
side.
they kill the second
The
one?
clever
How-
girl.
I think the second one just ran off.
That doesn't
I
make
think no. I
sense.
think the second one like took red shirt 1 and like ran off.
I think that's what the tracks
then-
were, right? It was
Yeah,
That-
there were
those are the tracks,
definitely
yeah.
there were
That's what the
2.
tracks were.
So there were 2 white bears.
Okay. Oh, thanks, Queenie Bee. Jorah
Oh,
the bear
hey.
killing the bear. Hell
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
It was the
I
bear
did not
killing
even
the
put that
bear, 'cause
together.
Sandor
He-
fucking
Yeah.
killed it.
Jorah kills the bear with a dragonglass dagger. That's how
Mm-hmm.
he's able to kill the bear with the one shot. He rolled a crit.
Nim,
is that
that
consistent,
observation
though?
is correct.
like flame can take down whites. Dragon glass, we've
take
seen it
out
just
both?
like it cuts through them.
I
It
think
takes out
dragon.
both.
Yeah,
Cuts through.
dragonglass will.
But
kill
it's
both,
it's
yeah.
not like a one hit kill like it is with White Walkers.
No, I think because like that bear was on fire, sure, but was doing fine until Jorah stabbed it with a dagger. And I feel it's not like a situation where like it had 2d4 hit points left. Like he killed it with the dragonglass.
Yeah.
That was my reading of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not Sandor. He couldn't do it. He couldn't.
Sandor
hang.
can't handle that fire.
But he's
Uh,
not
Fire
whinging
bear.
about it. He just has his limits.
I was wondering this too. Rose asked, why didn't everyone have dragon glass weapons on them?
I think they
Did
did.
They
Yeah,
had-
when
they did or
they
something
in the
equivalent.
in the lake fight, they have dragon. They
Although
all have
the
dragon.
But
hammer
glass.
the
is-
Warhammer's
The
definitely
Warhammer's
not.
No.
No.
Gendry is like.
No, but Sandor had a sword on him.
Okay.
Oh, and then this is when Gendry separates. Is that right? Oh no, that's later.
That's
Okay.
later,
Because,
yeah.
because before that, any other things to say about the White Bear? I liked it.
It
I
was
like
cool.
the White
Yeah.
Bear.
Again, just take away looking at it critically.
But this
It's
one you
a
can
fun
look at
sequence.
critically, and it's a good sequence.
And this is
There's
it's
you can be nitpicky, but what Chelsea?
it's what frustrates me about episodes like this when the episode itself makes no sense because it completely overshadows how amazing everything else is. The actors are amazing, costumes, effects. It's gorgeous. Like I love everything about it except the thing that strings it all together is awful. And that's really a disservice to every
You mean
single
for this, like,
person.
plot line?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
such
yeah.
a disservice to everything else going on in the episode because I can't focus on how cool everything is when the stuff making the cool things happen makes no sense.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating.
I feel ya. I was able to appreciate the cool thing. It's a good horror sequence, honestly.
It's cool. It's a
Yeah.
cool fight sequence for sure. Like
The blue eyes
And there
coming
was-
from so far
yeah.
away.
and there was still a lot left of the episode. So Thoros going down first is great because they're taking out their healer.
Yeah.
And so now that's good storytelling because that raises the stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're like, oh shit, if Thoros goes, then Beric can go, then Jon can go. Like, well, obviously not.
yeah.
Jon's not going to go, but you know what I mean. Like, they now there's no way of bringing anybody back. It takes away that element, and now all the stakes are raised for the remaining characters. So Wight Bear sequence, B+, A-.
Sure. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's Littlefinger and Sansa back at Winterfell.
Oh,
yeah.
Caitlin's gonna be mad.
No, we need to do
Arya
Arya and
and
Sansa. They had two
That's
earlier.
later.
They had
Hey,
one
thanks,
earlier
Frank.
conversation.
The first Arya.
We
and
talked
Sansa.
about the Arya.
Thank you,
Sansa
Frank.
one, didn't
Frank
we?
did a super
Not
chat.
really.
No.
Frank
Yeah,
did a
thank
super
Frank.
chat. Say
Oh,
thank
shit.
you.
Thank you, Frank.
Animals.
Thanks, Frank.
I'm sorry.
We're
oh,
monsters.
we did skip. Okay. Yeah, so we can start with Arya Sansa. Great.
Yeah.
Is this our first trip to Winterfell in this discussion?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can string
First
a couple.
formal trip.
I liked this. I liked both the performance and the camera direction of this monologue. It's very slow and still. Sansa comes upon Arya, and she's talking about this time when she picked up an arrow and was practicing archery, and Ned was watching her, and it's a sweet moment, but then turns it back on Sansa to like, this is a beautiful thing that we've lost, and you helped us lose it. What are we reading?
Sorry, I was
Chat.
reading Leo's chat.
I know. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Leo's.
Leo's
I think that's I really liked that conversation.
Yeah, and
I-
it's
yeah.
a familiar location. We saw this in the pilot. Ned and Catelyn looking over at like when Arya shoots the arrow and past Bran's head and like gives a cheeky little smile because the pilot's so cheeky and fun and innocent.
I just don't love psychopath Arya.
She's
it's not any
she's
fun.
not completely psychopathic. I love that there's emotion behind it. Like she's very angry and she still has feeling for her family. I love that she's not so detached.
I will say that a thing I like about the dynamic they're setting up, and I don't entirely love it in general. I wish that the show would just let them be sisters. But something I do like about that dynamic is kind of an argument I see among fans of the series in general, is that Arya kind of blames Sansa for not standing up and not taking physical action and not being brave in the same way that Arya is brave. And I think that that's a debate. It almost seemed a little meta to me now that I think about it. But they're two women who have very different ways of taking action and being brave, and I hope that they resolve that by letting them be sisters eventually and having them come to the understanding that they have survived so differently. And yeah, if their places were switched, I don't think they would have survived each other's situations.
And Arya even blames it on Sansa's intelligence. She says you were stupid.
Yes,
not to
but
believe
no, that's not. And a lot of fans believe Sansa is stupid, and she's not.
I think there are certain specific phrases in this scene that are very important to a reading of the Arya Sansa scenes that is positive. I'm not as completely on board after watching it a second time as I was the first time, but I think that there are things in these scenes that are good. If they turn out to pay off, and if they don't, then I'm on you. I'm with you. This is stupid.
Yeah.
However, if this turns out where next episode we see Arya and Sansa team up in some way,
Yes.
Yeah,
I think then
which I believe will happen.
this is good subtextual writing in a way that the show hasn't had for a very long time, which is why it seems out of place.
Yeah.
There were
Oh, backhanded remark.
there were moments there
Damn,
were
sly
lines
dig, dude.
in this sequence. I really loved the story that Arya tells about the arrows and about Ned and
So
about
good.
Ned acknowledging what she was doing, where she says, "I wasn't doing something wrong. The rules were wrong." That's really important for both the situation that Arya's in, but I think it's also Arya kind of testing Sansa to be like, from Arya's perspective, Sansa being in power is fine and maybe good. It's possible that Arya is just skeptical of Sansa to see, last I knew you, you were the person who wrote this letter. Who are you now?
Mm-hmm.
So she's testing Sansa to be like, I'm going to run truthy smacky on you, whether you know it or not.
That's later.
And I think it's the
I
whole
think
time.
it's the whole episode,
sure.
yeah.
And your responses are going to be how what I'm going to make my next move off of. So I think she's saying the rules are wrong. I'm cool with you ruling if that's what you want to do, but do it right.
Mm-hmm.
So who are you? Are you the person who wrote this letter, or are you the person who's running Winterfell like a boss?
Okay.
Okay.
And that makes sense
Yeah.
with the later scene where Arya gives her the dagger.
But do you think that's going on right now in this scene, or do you think that maybe in addition to some of that, there is also actual resentment?
I
think there's
there
definitely
is.
resentment.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think I think that's where the distrust is coming from.
Yeah.
And I think that when the conversation starts to take more of a turn towards what Gressel is saying is when Sansa makes the point, like, well, if you were at the Sept of Baelor when our father was beheaded, why didn't you do anything?
There's also when Sansa says, like, I don't think you would be able to handle what I went through. And I think that Arya knows that is true because Arya wouldn't have allowed herself to do that. Arya would have done something brash that would have either gotten her killed or gotten her killed in, like, a blaze of glory. Sansa got through it and survived. And that strength, I want to be careful in how I talk about this.
Oh, yeah, because that plot line is just god-awful. But no, the fact...
Police me, Chelsea.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's the fact that Sansa was told, you're going to be married to Ramsay, and she went through with it.
And came out
the other
side.
And is now, I'm not going to let that define me. I am now going to be the Lady of Winterfell.
Whereas, if Arya's told, you're going to be married to Ramsay, she would have never made it to Winterfell.
Somebody ends up dead, probably Arya.
Yeah.
Yes. That makes sense. And I would like to... I hope that you are right and we can view it through this lens next episode, because I want to believe in an episode where maybe we don't have characters, not necessarily in Winterfell, but other places, not playing to the top of their intelligence. I want to believe that Arya is, because we know also that last episode, she must know that Littlefinger is playing her in some way, because he was acting, and he said it to the Maester, that he got this letter like on Sansa's orders. He's doing this for Sansa. Like, oh, Sansa will be pleased. So if Sansa is acting surprised, which she is, then Littlefinger is lying, and Arya can tell truth from lies. So what I hope that you're saying is true, that she is doing this to understand who Sansa is, and then once she can trust her, then take care of Littlefinger. Like, it's still worth knowing who she is and what this letter means, but the reason why she shouldn't just gloss over why she has this letter.
Sure.
So that's if this is true.
Yeah.
But
I think we can discuss each of these scenes on two different tracks.
Okay, sure. Okay, cool. Yeah.
With that being true, which I think we all agree we want.
That would be
to
great.
the case.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it would be like layered writing.
Exactly.
Cool.
The other option and potentiality really is that that's not true, and that this is a legitimate conflict between them, and that
Arya is like completely unempathetic.
Yeah. And I mean, to that point, I guess Sansa really... I mean, she tells her that you wouldn't be able to survive what I went through, and Arya's response is weird. It's like, I guess we'll never know or something. Maybe it's just the delivery. I'm kind of with you. I'm not sure how I feel about Maisie Williams.
I want to read it, though, as that's Arya's way of subtly acknowledging...
Yeah. That's that track.
Yes.
Tracked. But...
Hey, Sarah, I can't wait to get to the end either. We're like... Ugh.
Hang with us, everybody.
Just hang in there, because it's going to go
We want
crazy.
to talk about things that could potentially, maybe, hopefully be good.
Okay, well, we can
One
talk about
thing-
Littlefinger. Okay.
I'll also say is, guess who's not in this episode, but his name is Stark? Bran. And guess
yeah,
who's
where's
really
he?
good
Oh,
at
yeah.
Truthy Smacky and who knows
Bran is
everything?
Annalise.
the most ultimate truthy smacky judge. Like, he knows.
Like,
Yeah.
if you want to understand who someone is and what they've all been through and just verify, hey, they good or not, you just go to Bran. Ask them everything that's happened to them.
Yeah.
And so both the Sansa and Arya could have been using their... Like, he's good for one thing now, and they could have been going to him for that.
That's weird that Bran's not here. He's who in the chat said, "Oh wow, thank you, Frank C." Damn.
Yeah, and
Oh,
thank you.
thanks,
And
man.
we don't know how they're going to kill the ice dragon. That's going to be a
yeah,
Working
there was
maybe.
already
What
a
is-
debate over whether or not the
Frank-
ice dragon would breathe ice or fire. I'm guessing ice.
Frank has a 7-foot dragon replica.
Drogon replica.
Drogon
Oh, damn,
replica.
cool.
Holy shit.
Wait, I'm sorry.
I don't think that could fit on our set.
We can make it fit. Are you kidding me? They're like, please take the 7-foot long dragon, put on your set. Like, they're just gonna lend it
Baby,
to us.
that thing's gonna live with us after that.
I don't know. I
Oh,
don't
do
know
we
if
take? Well,
that's-
then,
you
yeah,
gotta
that's
deal with
even
it
more.
after.
Yeah, you're trying to make it sound like no. Like, we
We
can't
do have a
have
staircase
this.
we can like wrap it around.
Yeah, please let
It can
us
be
use
purged.
that. We'll take really good care of it.
Email practicalfolks@gmail.com, Frank, and we'll figure it out off the air.
So yeah, it's dumb that Bran is just someone in the chat before we started said
Blue Fire Ant, that's hilarious.
what is it like? He's so irrelevant. His name might as well be Brandy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which dig at Brandy. That
Dig
sucks.
at Brandy.
Wow.
Damn.
No
Yeah, but
Moesha fans.
Yeah, no Moesha fans.
Yeah, I mean that's another logic gap. Is well, Bran knows everything. Why don't you just talk to Bran? Another that's
the
why
problem
doesn't
of
the
writing
dragons?
in.
Why doesn't Drogon just blast the Night King with fire? There's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Littlefinger and Sansa.
Littlefinger
and
Littlefinger and Sansa. So again, two ways to read this scene. It's fun and interesting if Sansa knows exactly what she's doing as she closes all the doors and she mentions like where did Arya get that, and it's like if she knows that Littlefinger set that up, she's like testing him. I don't know if that's true.
Please
but
let
it'd
that
be cool.
true. Yeah.
I hope it's both, because there's a camera move that I took as meaningful.
So you think that's when Sansa like it clicks for her?
I think when he suggests Brienne, she
Yes,
realizes,
that's when
oh
this
shit,
happens."
I'm being Littlefingered right now. Like he's doing the move, and I need to pay. Like I think she was honestly just talking this out and actually concerned. And then once
because she has a good point about the lords and
Yeah.
the mercurial allegiances.
Yeah.
But once he brings in an original idea, she's just like, oh, I can't trust this idea at all.
because Sansa knows that Brienne is also her sworn shield.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think that's the turning point for Sansa, where she's like, oh, he's trying to pull some shit. She's realizing it. Liz is chiming in from the couch. Like Liz is like, yeah, I agree. And that's why I think that, okay, if you're following my argument of the Arya Sansa storyline in this episode is good, then you're tracking the conversations that they're having have subtext and subtlety.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're also tracking cause and effect, because cause and effect is important in television writing.
Usually, yeah.
So then Littlefinger and Arya have this conversation about where Littlefinger and Sansa, have this conversation. And Littlefinger brings up Brienne and her importance and how it's important that Brienne stay at Winterfell to guard Sansa against Arya, just in case Arya turns bad or whatever. That's Littlefinger's argument. The next scene is Sansa sending Brienne away with a mysterious, out of nowhere letter from Cersei summoning her to King's Landing.
She gets that letter from the Maester, though.
She gets
Yeah,
that.
that
Sure,
is the
she gets
thing.
that letter
She
from the
gets
Maester.
the letter from a
That doesn't
Maester
mean it can't be
in a
fake.
private scene, dude.
In a private scene, exactly.
If that scene is fake, she didn't do it. If the
The letter.
Why
if
do
the
you? What
letter's
do you mean?
fake-
She doesn't. She could have told the Maester, "Hey, come in here and hand me this."
But
there's
no one was there.
There's no one else there.
Yeah, so why?
Yeah,
No,
why
what
would
I'm
they-
saying is it could be
What?
I wouldn't say a fake letter. If what you want to believe is the case, like it could be a different letter, and she's saying it's from Cersei. But I would tend to believe that she wouldn't send Brienne for no reason.
I just
No
want
one-
to point out.
I think it's
no
a real
one,
letter.
No one reads the letter but Sansa, and then she immediately burns it.
She's
Okay.
actually well,
But,
hang
like-
on. The letter is like this tall. She burns a sheet that's like this. I thought. Like it's like it's an 8.5 by 11 versus a scroll.
She throws a couple things in the fire, but my point is that if you want to read this the way that I'm arguing, there's a reading where this is Sansa's plan to send Brienne away to test Arya, and to fuck with Littlefinger's plan.
That I agree with.
Littlefinger wants Brienne in Winterfell. Well, then I'm going to send Brienne away so that Littlefinger doesn't have the thing that he wants.
But what if that's Littlefinger thinking that ahead?
Okay,
Because
Littlefinger slappy.
Sure, yeah. But here's the question: why would he want Brienne in Winterfell?
To kill Arya.
Yeah, but
But
he
also
knows
he
that
could-
Brienne
And to
could
maybe
kill
kill
him.
Brienne.
No, he fucking knows that Brienne doesn't trust him.
Yeah.
He knows that Brienne could kill him. Why would he want Brienne in Winterfell?
Dude, you know what?
Otherwise-
I hope that letter was like made by Littlefinger.
Yeah,
and
if
he's
it's
just
fake,
thinking
Littlefinger
like
did it.
steps ahead. Like, okay, I just really obviously made it sound like, hey, have Brienne kill Arya. I know she's not gonna want to do that. What's a good way I can get rid of Brienne?
All right, fine,
I
sure.
like that.
If
a
that
lot
if
better.
that's
That's
happening, I
fun.
would love it because I've been
I don't
wanting to
think it's
see
true.
Littlefinger
That's good too.
winning
Yeah.
a little more. I would
Either
love it.
way, then
Here's
this
but
sequence
here's
is
one
good.
more-
Then this
here's one
sequence
more
is successful.
Is Littlefinger we go back a step. We take off all that deceit that we just came up with and would be cool. Littlefinger does legitimately want Brienne in Winterfell because he wants Arya to kill Brienne, maybe?
Yes.
By having them pitted against each other. He saw them fight in the
Yes.
courtyard.
And
he
then-
knows Arya could beat, or that actually
They
saw
could
them
kill each other.
Kill each other.
Exactly.
He saw them best each other. So maybe
Yes.
he wants Brienne there
Man,
so that her and Arya fight and both die.
I think maybe we'll table this for next week once we know what the fuck's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's
Either
hard.
way,
Because now we're getting
it's-
into like, let's try writing the
Yeah.
show better than they are.
Sure.
Well,
we're
and
just trying to
sometimes-
call what's going to happen, and maybe it'll be one of these
We're
things.
just
I
trying to
hope.
we're just trying to make the argument that these things need some variation of these things would need to happen in order to justify what happened in this episode.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's bullshit.
If
We
it's
want
what
things
it
to
is on
make
the face of
sense.
it, then it sucks. But if it's any of these other things that we've paged out,
I'm-
take them D&D, they're yours.
Yeah,
man.
I'm
Can't
just
go back in
so
time.
I'm just so concerned that it's just gonna be like everything on its face, and we're gonna end up doing that thing that we always complain about, where we have to like write our own scenes to make stuff make sense, and that's a bummer.
But I don't.
Yeah.
I think that this sequence though is something where you don't really need to write your own scenes.
You just got to wait and see.
yeah,
baby.
yeah, that's why
You
I'm
just
like
gotta wait
it's
and see.
getting
It
pointless
could
to kind of.
potentially be
Yeah.
good. I just want it to
All
be
right,
But
good.
I
So
would
there's
like to
one-
just note that the camera movement that happens, and the reason we're putting so much weight on it is that's kind of a, I mean, it's kind of a symbolic camera
It's a
movement
classic, yeah.
in filmmaking. When you have people on different sides of the screen, you're always trying to keep them on the same sides of the screen to like make it not confusing. And then it's kind of like an established symbolism that if you switch which sides of the screen that they're on and are reversed, then that's like a flip in either fortune or like truth going on. There might be some like double agency going on there. So there's a movement.
It's a literal change.
Yeah,
Yes.
Like now they're on opposite sides. So like that's what happened. The camera panned around. Sansa.
Oh, hey,
Liz
we
is
got a super.
excited.
Hey,
She
we got a
knows it.
super chat, and we totally ignored it. It
Oh,
was
shit,
from
which one?
Diego.
I'm sorry, Diego.
Sorry, we like
Sorry,
got carried
we're
away.
so fucking in this.
Yeah,
now.
I thought it was Arya being Sansa in the scenes with Littlefinger and No, Arya
That
would
shit would
have
be
to have killed
crazy.
We're gonna
Sansa.
Yeah.
kill Sansa to get the face.
But like
Yeah,
that'd be
that-
crazy.
that was
though.
what the-
Sorry, we like
Yeah.
it was. I saw it come up and it was in the middle of like someone talking, and I didn't want to interrupt, and then it just like
yeah, then we forgot. Sorry.
Sorry, thank you so much, Diego.
We got a lot to get through. Let's.
Well, okay.
You got
we can
anything,
move
Joel?
straight on. Oh yeah, Joel.
No. I was gonna say, do we want to hit
Well,
that?
Sansa Brienne.
Yeah,
Sansa Brienne.
Sansa Brienne.
Because Sansa gets the letter from the Maester in a private scene, so Sansa didn't tell the Maester to go down the hall and come back and give it to her
You don't know
without
what the
any
plan is.
witnesses. No, man, that don't make no sense.
She could still lie about what the letter is.
She could
Yeah,
lie about.
that-
what
But also,
letter
why
is.
did she
That
just
makes
send Brienne to King's Landing? She could have sent her anywhere. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Because Jamie and Brienne have to be together
They have to
forever.
be
Sansa just
together.
knows, like deep
Sansa,
down.
yeah, Sansa's
like,
just
"Oh,
like,
it's
I heard
OTP."
you. I heard you talking in your sleep, Brienne, about Jamie.
Yeah, and like I
You're-
get it.
you're good here,
it's
but,
really
like-
perfect.
Yeah.
My ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just all aboard that ship.
I mean, if any character on Game of Thrones is gonna have like ships, it's Sansa.
It's Sansa. That one
That's
bit of
true.
old Sansa remains.
Uh-huh.
She just wants to believe in true love, and it's Brienne and Jamie.
Absolutely.
Oh, I do have something else that we got a quick mention earlier in the, I think, the Littlefinger Sansa scene. She mentions, I haven't gotten a raven from Jon. What the fuck, Jon? You're going to Eastwatch? Send a goddamn raven about your movements and your updates, because
Oh,
she's
she
like,
did
oh,
say that?
Yeah,
I've
she's
not
like,
heard-
I haven't heard from
him
him
in
weeks or
That's-
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's
also,
dumb.
if Bran knows everything, go ask Bran. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Man, that's the problem with writing in this all-knowing.
Manhattan,
It
yo.
sucks. It's
He's
like
a problem.
he is.
He doesn't know the future, but he should be able
That's
to
why
tell.
Winter.
But he
Winter
would know
hasn't
the
come out yet.
future.
No, he doesn't know the future.
He knows the past and the present.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, whatever.
Also, it's unclear. He knew about Arya at the inn at the crossroads and what she was doing, but he has to send ravens to go and see about what the Night King's doing. And why did he only send the ravens to everyone? Like when they were
it's
getting
because
close
of
to
Weirwoods. He
Yeah.
can see through the Weirwoods.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe some ravens to check out Arya. Whatever, man.
Okay.
I don't know.
I feel like when he got to Winterfell, he should have sent the ravens. Anyway.
So Sansa sends Brienne away, and they have a little spat where like Brienne wants to leave Pod. She it sounds like she says no in not those exact words, but it sounds like Pod's not staying.
That means that Pod's going to be in King's Landing for a
Oh,
reason,
no.
since everything is
Guys, they
results-oriented
can't
storytelling.
Spoilers for the preview.
Pod.
Pod is in the preview.
Oh,
he
in
is?
King's
I didn't see
Landing.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't
Oh,
notice
shit.
that either.
Okay.
My ship is sailing.
Oh, pod.
But after Brienne leaves, there's a long shot of Sansa reacting in a manner in which it looks as though she's looking as though like I know what I'm doing, even though that was difficult. Like
Yes.
it's part of my plan.
Yep.
So
And yet,
that lends credence.
someone
to it.
asked, why was Sansa being so mean to Brienne? It's kind of like Arya being mean to Nymeria.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
White
Run,
It's
it's
white
for your own
fanging.
good.
Yeah.
It was a Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
outta
belong
here.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aw.
Just go on and get.
Yeah.
We can just wrap up this storyline because there's only the last scene left.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just do it so we can
Sansa-
just talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
all the
I
I
bullshit.
want to finish this before
Right.
we get into it.
Yeah.
With Sansa and Arya. We've been making you wait so long, but there's so
Yeah.
much other stuff to discuss.
Yeah, we
Blame
wanna do it
D&D for
justice.
extended episode.
I think the only thing worth talking about in this scene with Sansa and Arya is that Arya gives Sansa the knife. That's it. That's the peace offering. That's saying I could kill you, but I believe you. I could know if you're lying. You're not.
Mm-hmm.
But then why doesn't
Who
she
am I
say
emailing to send you Drogon? At
She doesn't have to say it.
practicalfolks@gmail.com.
PracticalFolks@gmail.com.
I think-
Thanks, Frank.
I think she hands it to her, yes, but she's still very threatening when she does and immediately leaves. There's no, we have a common understanding. There's no, a little bit after that, she just leaves.
Yeah.
And
No,
I
that
thought
makes
she
sense.
left in a threatening way.
No.
No, but that's
No,
like
how
every
can you leave it up
Because
that's
think
every
about-
phone conversation in Mad Men where they just hang
They
up the
just
phone
leave.
and don't say bye.
Yeah.
just backing out the door.
Like, I mean, just think about those two scenes next to each other. We have Sansa sending away her weapon, which is Brienne, and we have Arya giving up her weapon, which is that dagger.
Exactly,
And I
yeah.
think, so I'm hoping that like our little theories end up being so in the next episode, like that they're cool and they're gonna team up and we're gonna be done with the infighting. And I think
Yeah,
I-
they're gonna
I'm
kill
positive
Littlefinger.
That's gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Littlefinger's
What I would
so
hope
dead next
is
episode.
that then
And I'll
Arya
cry.
is going after Littlefinger on her own because, again, she only got onto the letter because of Littlefinger scheming. So I hope that Arya takes this knowledge that Sansa's okay and then focuses on Littlefinger. Or tells Sansa about it so that they can team up.
But I think this was her saying it without saying it because I want to believe, okay, characters playing to the top of their intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's assume the best. Sorry, I distracted by a super chat from
You're
me.
the
I really hope
best.
Sansa goes
Baby.
Gone Girl and Littlefinger with that dagger. Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh.
Rough
Oh,
scene.
wait.
Scene.
Ooh.
But
Oh.
yeah.
characters playing to the top of their intelligence. Arya assumes she's being watched. She assumes Sansa's being watched. She's trying to say things without saying them.
Hmm.
This is holding up a piece of paper saying the room is bugged, and then having a conversation with, you know what I mean? This is
Yeah.
like in Stranger
Okay,
Things, and
sure.
like that's what they're doing. That's what I want to believe. We won't know until next episode. But if it plays out that way, then this sequence was successful and good.
I
Sure.
appreciate
Sure.
that you have these high expectations.
Yeah.
That's not like a backhanded
No,
way.
I'm
I'm
with
just-
you.
no.
no,
I'm in this
I do,
place where
I
I'm
do
not,
too.
and I'm glad.
Because I think it just has to have. Like, I don't think Littlefinger's making it out of next episode. The entire conversation between Sansa and Littlefinger, the first time I watched it, I was so tense. Or no, actually,
Because she's closing all the doors.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, actually the conversation between her and Arya up there.
Yeah.
Every time they like got
You were
near a
waiting for
piece of
them to be like,
information.
wait a minute,
Yeah.
little
Anytime they got
finger.
near a piece of information that would lead back to Littlefinger, I was like, no, change the
Yeah.
topic, change the subject. And I don't know. There's no way that Littlefinger survives it. God damn it! Are there Please don't.
Don't you
I
leak
swear
it,
to
Jake.
God,
You'll be super banned if you
super
leak stuff.
banned.
Thank you for not.
Please don't.
It's
fucking
everyone.
leak anything. God damn it! Oh my god.
It was bad enough we had to
I'm just
watch
not gonna
this
read the chat
episode.
anymore, so-
Right? Like that's
Yeah.
just gonna make us not read the chat.
Yeah.
So
We were getting it from
Come
all
on.
sides
That
this
sucks.
week. Like,
Yeah, we
like,
can just minimize this. We can close the computer and not have a chat.
We'll
Yeah.
just talk
We'll
about
turn
it to
this. We'll turn this
ourselves.
chat right around.
Before we get to what I think we're getting to the beginning of.
I think.
I think we're there.
I think we're there.
Yeah.
Whites.
Yeah.
This is it. Oh yeah, this is it because it's Jorah and Thoris's conversation. We already talked about it. It was nice.
yeah.
And
Don't be your
then-
heroes, guys.
And then that ends, and they see the parade of White Walkers led by one White Walker leading
The scouting patrol, yeah.
a
yeah, I
parade
forgot.
of whites.
Oh jeez.
Okay.
Which I liked this. Okay, the overall macro plan, dumb as dirt.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the micro plan of let's have this torch and lure them to the torch, good, cool, interesting.
Yeah.
Yes,
very
we
good.
reward basic tactics.
Okay, that's fine. Though.
Really more like tactics.
They have a fight.
Not strategy.
Jon goes straight for the White Walker again, rushing into battle in like the most
Jon
dangerous
rushes in.
way.
Jon
I mean,
rushes
he's
in.
the only
really
one who's
Leroy
trying to sell-
Jenkins.
They're really
Yeah,
trying
he's
to sell
killed.
this.
He's killed one before with his Valyrian steel
Yeah.
blade. I think it's appropriate.
Jorah is having some problems fighting.
He's getting choked out, right?
It's been a while.
Nice, Joel. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really good.
I mean, he's kind of fine later in the fight, but I wish that had come back as like, oh yeah, this is Jorah first time fighting in a while. He's lost it, and that's why he dies. But no, he doesn't. No one really dies except for Thoros.
Yeah.
Spoilers, James.
Sorry, spoiler.
I hate the Vampire Diaries bullshit of like all the whites who are sired by that White Walker
yeah.
are killed when they kill the White Walker.
Except for I don't mind it.
I would.
the-
I wish it were consistent.
Yeah, if it was.
That's the
If
issue.
it was consistent, sure.
It
but
knocks
it's
out
not.
all of them but one. He,
Yeah.
kill-
Oh
he
my-
kills the
Well,
White Walker.
I mean, even like past episodes, like Hard Home and other episodes where
I
we've
mean,
seen White
Jon killed
Walkers
the White
killed.
Walker.
You could make the argument at Hard Home that you just don't notice.
Same
Hard
thing
Home
you
doesn't
could.
bother
Same
me.
thing with the cave. The one that Mira kills with the spear. Maybe you didn't notice.
And
whatever
there
ones he
there was no
controlling.
one else around when
Sam.
Sam. God, I can't believe I blanked on Sam's name. When Sam killed the one, there was no one else around. So
Sure.
like,
But these other two times there were, and it's just it's another thing where we're like, okay, so the ones around weren't. But then it is weird that all but one.
That's
all
what
but
kills
one
me.
sucks.
It sucks.
Balls.
That's
sucks
Like you could have
sucks.
easily done all but
Yes.
2 or 3. They
yes,
kill the other
and
two.
then kill the other two, and just just so it's less,
Result oriented.
just less perfect.
Again, result
Okay,
oriented.
in the behind the scenes thing afterward,
Oh,
I wrote.
Let's lay it out now.
Wait, are we
yeah.
doing this now, or are we going to get? To
I
the
think
end?
it's
Everything
relevant.
We should wait until we talk about the dragon.
But this
No, but
is
this is
okay.
the
relevant.
Everything, all right,
Yeah,
sure.
It's
Okay.
okay. It's about to go off the rails in terms of like how
this
fucking
is. Let's open it
salty
up.
we are. I'm so
Because-
fucking mad.
because we had our issues with it, and then we watched the after the episode behind the scenes, whatever the fuck.
Where Jesus.
I don't know which
Sorry.
which one of the D's said this, but literally the quote is, "We map out the episode endpoints."
Yes.
That's
they-
not crazy. Like beating out a story is normal. That's
But-
standard practice.
Sure.
But
Just the way they.
just
I didn't write down any
and we
further direct
needed to
quotes.
get to the Ice Dragon's eye open.
That is
That's
what they
the
said.
issue.
That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
the problem is.
He was like, we
having
have this
like a
moment.
skeleton of a season, fine, that's fine.
Yeah.
But then like wouldn't this be a cool moment and we should have this happen and be the end? Great. Let's write the entire season around it.
Which is okay. Which is fine as long as you don't make it obvious or as long as the characters act in a natural manner
Consistent
and consistent
This
and
is
logical
season
way
7
to get them to that point.
of these characters.
When you have that end point and then you take the characters and you're like, you're gonna do dumb shit now just so
Just
you can
so
get to
we
this
can
end
get
point.
this
because
shot.
we can't figure out a different way to get you there. So yeah, here you might not act the way that like anyone with a brain thinks you would, but you're gonna do it anyway because we really need to get to this.
It's
end.
everyone it's the formation of the plan and everyone going along with that
That's the
plan.
start of it,
Because
yeah.
I would say that it would be harder if Dany went up with, maybe her army, maybe not, but all 3 dragons and more men to try and take them out and not just get a white. This creates a situation where they go up, a very small band. That's dumb to begin with if you're going to try and get in contact with whites at all. But then it puts them in a situation where she needs to come in and rescue, and that's not the strongest possible point. So if she's coming from like a weakened stance, then maybe that's how you could lose a dragon. But to get there, none of it makes sense for these characters.
None of it.
The problem, one of the problems with this results oriented storytelling approach that they've taken is that it's very easy to we'll get to
Thanks, Abigail.
Yeah, Abigail. We'll talk
We'll
about
get
Dragon.
to
Oh,
that.
we
Thanks,
will
Abigail.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. One of the problems with this is that it then becomes so obvious that that's what they're doing, that it takes all of the teeth out of everything that came before. It makes you go, this is stupid. They're just trying to get to Ice Dragon.
Yeah.
Like it robs the narrative of any integrity that it has, and it gets us to this point where we're at, where we're all like, this is stupid, because the plan doesn't make sense. Okay, that on its own is a problem. However, if they were to execute that plan in a way that was satisfying and had a payoff that we didn't expect, maybe, then you're surprised and you're like, oh, they took this in a weird direction. However, when the plan is isolate Jon north of the wall so that Dany can come and save him with her dragons,
Like what?
and one of those dragons is killed,
Yeah.
a minor dragon is killed, and then that dragon becomes Ice Dragon. And then there are very few other consequences beyond that. Is ridiculous. It just negates everything, and it makes you question too much. We were watching the episode today with Liz. Sorry to bring you into this, Liz, but we were watching the episode with Liz, and she had not seen the episode, and every 4 minutes she had a question of, why did they do this? Why is this happening? And that makes you, as a viewer, ask those questions, and that does a disservice to your audience.
And the first big question of that was, why did that one not die with them? And you can try to answer it. Maybe he's being controlled by another White Walker.
Yeah.
Maybe the Night King puts one each that he controls
Yeah,
in every troop
as
so
like
they
an
can know.
insurance
He's like
thing.
the HR representative.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
the Toby
But
Flenderson
again,
of the group.
yeah.
He's corporate's man.
Yes.
He's the corporate man at the franchise.
But again, it's that thing that I always complain about, where we have to start just making shit up to make stuff
Yeah.
make sense.
yeah.
And it's the show that gave us the answer of why they died too, because they want
Yes.
like it's also an
but-
easier out if for getting rid of the White Walker threat next season, if they have like I'm
They
trying to
have
think
a
of like
kill switch.
yeah, I'm trying to think of like a video game metaphor, but if you kill this one,
What were
all
those,
these others
what were
will
those
fall.
like robot toys that if you like hit in the crotch, they all fell apart?
I don't know.
I'm
Oh,
only thinking of hit the nose.
I know what you're
Sorry.
talking about.
You know,
Yeah, but I don't
like
know.
mech warriors.
Yeah.
They had like a kill button and they all fell apart.
Well, anyway, this is when it gets Walking Dead.
Yep.
A big zombie horde runs at them, and they tell Gendry, "We gotta send ravens. You run back to the wall. We'll take your hammer because you're the fastest. You're a nice little man. Get back to that wall." And then he runs, and he runs, and he runs. We do watch the light fade and the sun set.
Yeah,
as he
so
runs.
good for them.
Yeah.
There is
They had
there is
time
time
pass.
elapsing. Yep, that's great.
They
Good
tried.
stuff.
I feel like they go a day. Like
Yeah.
there's a night.
It's a
and then
single
day.
night. It
The-
has
the
to be.
jet
a single
packs-
Has to be a single
the
night or they would
jetpacks
die.
in this episode were out of control.
I don't think it's ridiculous to think that a raven flew in a matter of hours and then no, it is ridiculous.
It's
That's a bird, not a
insane.
plane.
It's
Yeah,
a
a dragon
bird.
can get up there, but
I was like, all things that can fly at the same
No,
speed.
dude.
No.
Like the
So-
dragon, fine. I
Yeah,
think the
dragon's
dragon
fine.
can't get up
Even
there that
Gendry,
quickly.
I'm kind of okay.
Yeah,
That's
but-
some stamina.
they must
that
have
boy can
they must have been
run.
walking really
But
slow
like
as
a
well they
raven.
went like a day
Sure.
too.
It's
full
like,
day.
fuck,
But the
no.
Raven is what kills me. The Raven.
The
from
Raven had a
Eastwatch to
jetpack.
Dragonstone is kind of ridiculous. that
Queenie,
that
thank
happens.
you.
Queenie, yeah, that would
I
be
would
great.
love to
we
be
would
a Game
all
of
love
Thrones
that
script
job,
editor.
please. Yes.
Because
How did no one anticipate? Like John's like, well, Dany's our only hope. What'd you think was gonna happen? What'd you think?
when he said that line, that was when I was like,
I
I'm
hate
done
this
with
episode.
This episode
Yeah.
is sad.
Oops, I guess Dany has to. like,
Again,
what the
that's so results oriented. It's
Yeah.
just we just need to get a dragon north of the wall.
So
like
so he
what,
runs-
what? It's one more. Sorry, one more thing. What was their ideal? I just want to get into the characters' heads when they think how they're going to capture this white. Because if the whole thing is, hey, an army of whites is headed towards Eastwatch, they're not going to encounter a small little band. I don't know
Yeah,
how
I don't
they
know what the
expected.
fuck they were thinking.
I don't know.
Well, no, okay. In Jon's defense, he has encountered small groups of whites before.
Sure.
Not everything is Hardhome. So he could be thinking of that same instance of maybe going to maybe finding some small group of whites again. I don't think that is the issue. The issue is this is a stupid plan in totality.
Yeah, yeah.
But just the fact that when shit started to go south, there was no backup plan besides, well, I hope Dany decides to show up.
I hope she decides to fly from Dragonstone.
Also, maybe they could have brought just one raven with them.
Yes.
A raven
Yeah.
or two.
Maybe they could have had the dragons standing by at Eastwatch.
Yeah.
That
Maybe
would've
they
been the
could have
best
gone
thing
with
to
them
just go with the
originally.
dragons from the start, but we're a long ways past that.
Or
boys and
send
girls,
one of the three.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Oh, I'm with you, man. But we're talking about the mistakes in the present, not the mistakes in the past.
Thank you.
I'm kind of okay with Gendry running all day and all.
No,
night.
that
Yeah,
makes
I'll-
sense.
I'll
Yeah,
take
yeah,
it.
So that's
yeah,
fine.
totally.
Yeah, collapsing
that's,
one wall.
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
yeah,
And then
that's
Davos-
fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then we see that it was night, and then it comes up on morning on the rock, because what happened was the merry band of 7 fought backwards. I guess it's still 8 at this point. There's still one red shirt alive. You probably didn't notice him, but
Oh,
he's
probably
there.
2 because Gendry's gone.
In 7
Oh,
years, look out
oh.
for kill
No,
count
I
Game
think-
of Thrones.
Oh, you're right, James. One
Yeah, just one
dies,
more dies,
as
yeah.
they're approaching the rock.
Yeah.
And then another one dies later on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one that dies while they're approaching the rock goes through the ice and creates the giant ice circle that surrounds the rock that they back into, and then the whites, when the moat first starts forming, keep walking in, and then they all just stop. They all just stop there,
Yeah.
and they stand and wait.
So I guess that's, more evidence that they're like remote controlled by.
Yeah, because you see the Night King in a little bit, him and the other White Walkers up there, and you can just imagine them with like a joystick, and they're like, "Oh fuck, a moat. I'll just wait." Okay, here's my other dig here. All right, here's my other big problem. All right, the coldest part of a day is late night, early morning.
True.
Is that ever not true?
I don't think so because the sun's not there.
It's the longest amount of time without the sun. Is the like early morning right before it rises again. It's like it's been in darkness and coldness the entire time.
Okay.
Okay, they wake up and they're like, it's gonna freeze soon.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Well, okay,
It's
but
morning when they say
here's-
we'll freeze soon, and so will that. But if that didn't freeze overnight,
But it doesn't just have to freeze. It has to freeze thick enough for all of that weight to cross. That's thick ice. I'm not gonna gripe too much about the ice freezing.
There's so much
Okay.
other shit
Okay.
that's
I'll
wrong.
gripe,
Just
I'll gripe
wanted
a
to throw
little
that out
bit
there.
saying that other times when we've had White Walkers approach, shit's gotten cold. So I don't see how...
that's a different
very
thing.
cold.
Sure.
White Walkers can kind of create ice. We've seen
Yeah.
the temperature.
The temperature drops. We've never seen them like touch water and create ice. There hasn't
Okay,
been precedent
okay.
for that.
That's true.
I'm not gonna gripe too much about the ice.
Okay, we can move on.
Yeah,
we can move
sure.
on from that.
Yeah.
Thoros is dead.
Thoros is dead.
Yeah.
They
He
almost
freezes
killed
to death
Thoros,
overnight.
and
Oh,
then they brought him
jeez.
back, and then he dies.
Yeah.
Sure.
Why?
Again, I think this is to raise the stakes for this battle.
But-
Sandor makes the point of like you've lost your priest, Beric. You could die,
But
and
why
this is your
almost
last
kill him,
die.
bring him back, kill him?
What do you mean
Just
bring
to-
him back?
Oh, just
bring-
not
like searing
like,
the
like
wound.
heal
Oh,
him
yeah,
and then
they're
have him die.
cauterizing
Yeah,
him.
that's fine. That's just false hope. I don't really have too much
Okay.
of a
I
problem with that
appreciated
either.
that it was a non-violent death. It was just the cold.
Okay. I'm just bringing up questions other people
Sure.
might have.
Yeah.
And, we
Yeah,
could,
yeah.
and so, okay, yeah, that doesn't bother me that much,
No.
I guess. Although, now may be a good point, time to point out, Joel, it sounds like you have this gripe that no one else died, that no one important died.
Yeah,
you could
I
argue.
kind of
I've
agree.
been
I
thinking
agree
about
with
this
that.
season. We know we lost the phrase, but who cares? They were no-name phrase.
Mm-hmm.
We lost the Sand Snakes and Ilaria. We lost Olenna, Thoros, and Viserion.
Mm-hmm.
When are we gonna start losing major characters? We've got 7 episodes left.
It is
That's-
crazy.
Is
we
it-
we all thought that 4 of the 7 at least of these dudes were gonna go down,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
losing one, and the least liked. Thoros is a cool character.
Book Thoros is
Book
great.
Thoros is
yep.
great,
But in the show, he doesn't get a lot of development.
but of all the people to lose, we lose Thoros and no one else. But I
Oh,
kind of
also
did
lends-
like the fake out with Tormund.
That also lends credence to the idea that this whole plot was also just a reason to like have these cool characters do like a thing together.
by having them not
Yeah,
die
they
'cause they
all-
need to die later for some other
But it,
reason.
Yeah,
but it also
it's-
makes me worry about like we're just gonna get every character that everybody likes together to fight on the same side, and then Cersei's
It's
gonna
gonna-
run the inn at the crossroads with her newborn baby.
It's gonna
Like,
turn into like a Marvel movie. It's gonna turn to like Avengers or like some shit where it's just like everyone's gonna team. It's all the characters you like.
That
and
would
they're
be
all
that
gonna
would,
be
oh,
smushed
that would
into
be
it, and
worse
I will
than
be.
Lumberjack Dexter.
I will be so upset if that's the case. I'm
It-
not here for like Marvel movie bullshit. I don't want that.
And
I
I
don't want to
really-
see like all my favorite characters
Yeah,
team up
that's
and
not-
fight.
that's
I don't.
not why
give
we like
fuck.
the
Is it
Yeah.
wrong to be
We're not
criticizing the
12.
show for not killing main characters just because we expect it, just because it's Game of Thrones?
In this situation, if you're going to say we're going to take this group of people north of the wall to put themselves in this high stakes situation wherein they are going on a suicide mission for none of them to come away worse for wear,
I mean,
really,
like you said
except for
earlier, they
Thoros?
lost their healer. That means Beric is limited life.
Yeah, I know Beric is
Cool, but,
limited
like,
life, but
but
like
characters
Do
what we
people
really
give a
care
shit
about.
about Beric?
Okay,
yeah,
but
Besides
like
me,
Tormund
Okay,
probably should have died.
Honestly, I think Jorah should have died, and here's
Jorah
why.
maybe
No,
should. The
I
problem
think-
is that all these characters, they either just brought him back or like it's like what
Well,
the.
That's
That's
why
the thing.
Tormund is the one that makes
I think
sense.
I think Jorah should have died because this reveals that grayscale was entirely stupid. Because the
that's
disease,
another problem.
It was easily
Yeah.
cured. Meeting Sam wasn't essential. I thought Jorah's absence was to show that she really needed a military advisor because Tyrion's advice was failing. But he showed up and immediately volunteers to
Life,
leave.
uh,
And then
life
it
finds a
wasn't
way.
about getting them together again for a final farewell because he doesn't die. Like, what was grayscale for?
Yeah, I
don't
thought
know.
grayscale was gonna be a way to show us that it somehow lends him immunity against
Yeah.
white.
Yeah.
You know, like there's
Yeah.
some like weird magic.
There's some kind of
it might just
protection
be
it causes.
a lost type subplot where it's cool in the moment, then you look back when it's done. It's like, why was that there?
There are several Lost references in this episode. The polar bears, the others,
Oh,
Man.
no.
Some Walking Dead in there.
a
A lot of Walking Dead.
That shot of the red shirt falling into the sea of whites was just like,
Straight
oh,
up
this
Walking Dead.
sucks.
And it's like, can you figure out a different way to do zombies? Maybe not. I don't know.
It's fun that they have a little intelligence because,
It's
well, I guess
it's uneven.
I was gonna say when that one gets hit in the face by Sandor, it's a little funny.
We're almost there.
But we have to hit Dany and Tyrion first, I guess, because they get that Raven.
Oh, shit! Did I even write that
Oh,
one
that's just Tyrion saying, "Hey, don't go. You don't have an heir," and then she going,
And
"I'm
she's
gonna
like,
go."
That's
Oh,
true.
when
well,
I
it's a
should have
foolish
just gone in the
decision.
first
down?
place.
We also got to see Beric strike his sword up
It's true.
instantly. That was cool.
yeah, magic,
cool.
straight up magic.
But
very
I'm sorry.
cool.
Back to this earlier point, just because I just want a little bit of resolution with it. So you make a good point about like why we can legitimately gripe that these characters on this suicide mission didn't die. But Joel, it sounds like, has an issue with this season as a whole not killing off main characters. And my question is it wrong to be like, it's Game of Thrones, people need to fucking die, why haven't they
It's
died?
wrong because there are 7 episodes of this show
But,
left.
but on
Yeah.
in the same vein, is it wrong to expect like that so many main characters are going to be dead by the end of this series? What if they're not?
I think.
What if Bronn and
That'd be so
Braun's
weird.
gonna make it. I'm not worried about
we
Bronn.
expect people to die because it's Game of Thrones, but is that right?
I think my gripe just comes from the fact that we've had in the last 2 episodes mostly. I think it's not that I just wanted more of a body count. It's that we've had situations that would realistically, in past episodes in this world, would kill people off. Like Bronn, we've been getting teased with like great character moments for a character that make you think, okay, this would be a fitting death for them. Bronn really hammering home that he wants money, the bag of gold spilling, him going after the dragon with the ballista, or Tormund having so many great character moments this episode, and being in this dangerous situation and not really losing anyone we care about. I think the Field of Fire Part 2 Loot Crate Attack, not really losing anyone there was a missed opportunity. I think the same
we
thing
lost
here.
the Tarleys.
And that's
Yeah,
the thing.
but
the
like
Tarleys who had that
Thoros.
great character
We lost
development.
Benjen.
I think Caitlin just pointed out it's not super satisfying to have like most of our favorite characters survive to the end, especially since such a runner in the show is like King of the Ashes, Queen of the Ashes, just all these little hints that there's just not going to be anything left by the time the story's over.
I would prefer it for most characters to die just because it would give me some closure, and I like that Game of Thrones is the series where all your faves die. But I just wanted to question whether it's fair to criticize the show because, like you said, there's 7 episodes left of this fucking show.
Here's the thing: is you have to. This goes back to the same argument we've been making all night. Is like you have to play these characters to the top of their intelligence to the situation that they're in. You look at the main character deaths, the way that the big characters have died throughout the series. You go back to Ned fucking Stark. Like, that was a shocking death, yes, because it killed the main character of the show. It killed Sean Bean from the show, where the only person whose name you knew was Sean Bean.
Mm-hmm.
But
it came naturally.
It came naturally because these were the decisions that Ned made.
Like Red Wedding is the classic example. Big shocker, but it made sense.
But it made sense. The Sept.
Marjorie.
That there was a lot of pipe laid to that, and it made sense, and whatever. So you lay all this pipe to get all of these characters that we care about on this suicide mission, and no one except for Thoros dies. Like, Tormund doesn't die.
I mean,
Beric doesn't die.
The dragon's a big deal.
But if the whole point was the dragon, then who cares about everybody? Then why did
then
everybody
why
else have to
send
go?
all those? Why make it
That's
such
fair.
a big deal? It's like we're all teaming up to go do. Yeah.
That's
And
fair.
then you immediately separate Beric and Sandor after you've established that they're this unit as the remainder of the Brotherhood. But then you whatever. This is dumb.
Yeah, the end of that scene is like, we'll freeze soon, and so will the ice. And then they reveal that the Night King's just kind of chilling up on a thing watching.
That's another huge problem, is that you have Beric walk up and say, none of this matters if we can kill him. And then Jon is like, but maybe we shouldn't kill him. Like, that's...
Well, he was like, you don't understand. But essentially, yeah. I think maybe he's doubting his ability to kill him. And then Beric is like, well, no, you can go kill him because you were brought back for a reason. What other reason would there be than that? Which maybe
that leads to his dumbass decision making at the end of the
Fucking
episode.
stupid.
Or R'hllor just ships Beric and Jon.
Oh, all aboard. Beric and anyone.
Yeah.
I actually
He's got that badass cool guy coat. Chelsea, how much to make that coat on Chelsea Rebecca
Good
cosplay?
Lord.
Dude, you should do Beric. You could do Beric.
Barrack's
Love to
coat?
do
That would be
Beric.
fun.
Put a little red in this.
Yeah.
Eye patch, dude. Like,
that
would
eye
make
patch?
you look like Beric. That's
I'd do
enough.
Beric.
Yeah.
I'd do Beric
I
too.
would do Barrack.
Joel, stop stealing fucking cosplays.
No,
from
I
me.
would do him,
Yeah.
baby.
Oh, I got it.
Me too, thanks.
I didn't write down the scene with Tyrion and Dany.
It's basically that
Dany wears an
she
awesome
she needs
She's
a
got a
Dario to fuck because she's making decisions based on her heart and other things. I'm just saying it's a foolish decision. Like, she's just going up there. Like, these people could die. Jorah, it'd be sad. Jon Snow, her new lover boy, it'd be sad. But you don't need to.
I got my Thoros hair.
Yeah, so she
tribute.
says, like, whatever, I'm gonna go up there and rescue them because that's what I want to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Great
I-
costume.
It's just dumb that
Great.
that wasn't the thing from the start.
Yeah.
What? You didn't want to leave Dragonstone undefended, but now it's cool because you got this Raven, I guess. But, like, by the speed that the dragon...
Here's the worst reading of this. But now it's cool because I had a conversation with Tyrion where he told me that Jon Snow liked me.
Sure, that is the worst reading of it.
But that's the cause and effect. If you want to look
Maybe.
at cause and effect, she's like, no, I can't take my dragons to do this thing. Oh, but he's in love with you. Oh, I need to go save him.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
It's-
after the episode, D&D, I can't believe they said it exactly like this too. They said that Dany realizes that Jon's not like the other boys.
That's a direct fucking
Straight
quote
up
from
boys.
writer of this episode, Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Jon's not like the
Danny
other
realizes
boys.
that John's not like the other boys.
The other boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And if you want to try and give this any
Sweet
credits,
uncle boy.
like, you could say this is on theme for love is the death of duty, but it comes at characters making decisions they wouldn't otherwise.
But it's just so dumb because everyone watching this show should just be like, why didn't Dany do this in the first place? Why didn't Dany leave her other dragons there and like fly a Drogon up there real quick,
Just
land there,
grab a fucking white,
Yeah, get
and
out.
then get back out.
and then get out.
Someone asked, why does it sound like we're complaining about everything? It's because we are.
'Cause
And
we
we
are.
know.
We spent the first
Yeah, we
hour,
spent
the first hour of the stream.
keeping this with praise.
Yes. So we
a
can
lot of
get
good.
all the praise out of the way so that we can go off on all the stupid shit that's wrong with
We
it.
earned this.
We earned it, yeah.
And it's because we care
And
passionately.
it's yes, again, all of this comes from Magic.
Magic Dick.
Magic Dick being John's gonna put a
He's
baby
gonna, like,
in it.
magic.
Oh, God.
yeah.
I hate it because you're right.
Yeah.
for sure.
New Targaryen dynasty.
Yeah. I mean, I wanna watch that.
History repeats itself. Anyways,
scene.
we love the show,
So
guys.
we fucking love this
Yeah.
show.
That's
So,
why we
yeah,
hate
yeah.
it.
Just go ahead and start from the beginning if you missed the praise.
yeah.
There's a ton of it.
I was gonna say we cut back, and Sandor is doing some dumb shit. He's throwing rocks.
He's
Why?
throwing rocks.
Oh, jeez.
Because he's bored and he's
He's
Sandor
gonna take
fucking
him out
Bored,
Clegane.
Clegane.
and he doesn't think for a second because he has just demonstrated that it's safe for them to cross again.
Which is
I
also
don't have a problem
dumb.
with that.
I don't mind the rock throwing, whatever. I think it's super fucking dumb that it wasn't until this rock slid across the ice that the Wight looks down and then processes and then slowly starts to cross it by himself. It's dumb that throughout this entire process, not one of these other countless Wights were like,
I
is
think
it- is it
I,
on
They should have
the-
been,
I,
like,
yeah,
testing it.
I
Yeah.
think if we had seen a shot or two of like whites plopping into the water periodically while they were waiting, it would have been more earned.
Yeah.
Instead of just
Oh.
standing around waiting for like an external verification that this ice is thick enough for them to walk on, and then to do it one by one.
Oh, yeah. So you can have, like, the one-by-one fightings instead of,
Yeah.
like, just sending
Instead
all
of
of the
doing
whites
the
at them and
charge,
then
like
getting
you-
it done and over with.
Guys.
And you could try, yeah.
Also, if that's your barrier, if that's what's going to keep the whites away for a limited amount of time, guess what you can do? You have a hammer, you can create another one. You're on a rock. Like, get another barrier
You have a
of
flaming
water.
sword.
Yeah.
That shit, whatever.
Yeah.
Probably not,
have
but-
it, like, make more ice melt, have a break. Ugh.
You can and this is what something
You
somebody
can't
else.
walk out on the frozen water and hit it with a
I don't know. I'm
hammer
saying you could be
That would
right,
be-
on,
That's
the, you
not
could be right on
safe
the
at
rock,
all.
on the edge, and then hit it with
That
the hammer.
doesn't do any good
Somewhat-
because they can jump across that if you're
Okay.
that
It would
close.
take
That's
too
not
long.
the,
Someone
the
in the
hammer's
chat
not
brought
the
this
answer.
up, and it is a way to explain away all of this, including the one-by-one approach of the whites. Is it's all a trap from the Night King, because somehow he knows that. I'm sorry. Somehow he knows that a dragon will come up if they can only survive for long enough for it to happen, and he wants an ice dragon. I don't know.
He's not all
I don't-
seeing.
Whatever.
I
Little
don't know
things.
the extent of his knowledge or his magic knowledge.
Oh,
I don't
wait,
know.
sorry. I was reading the chat. And were you talking about, like, the giant spears?
No, we're not
Like,
there
why
yet.
does he have, like, giant dragon
Whatever
spears?
for that.
We're-
That's
we're
fine.
about
I don't
to.
know. Because
So they're coming in.
so now they attack one by one so that they can easily fend them off. And then after a while, John says, "Retreat."
Yeah, he says
where?
fall back. Fall
Yeah,
back
fall
to
back.
higher
I think
up on
when
this
we
rock.
watched it, I just, like, yelled, like, to fucking where?
Yeah, just fall
I was
back.
so
Dude,
done
we're
at
like
that
back to
point.
back at this point.
I was so done. Yes.
Tormund nearly eats it, but he gets rescued.
Tormund does nearly die, and he
That
gets
was-
rescued by Sandor.
There were there are
New
very
OTP.
small micro moments that I think all of us can agree
Sure.
were in a vacuum very cool. Tormund almost getting killed and then getting saved was very intense because
Yeah.
we all love Tormund. So credit where credit's due.
Mm-hmm.
Micro moment, cool. Macro moment, why was he there in the first place?
God, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
They-
that is a struggle I had because I was really trying to appreciate these small moments and even some of the the conversations that they were having. I could with those because they earned themselves, those two characters talking together at any of the interactions that we had. Like those were worth it. But if you just think for a second about how we got here, then it just crashes down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing some people, and I've seen this theory before that the Night King is like a green seer and knew they were coming and therefore had like dragon spears. Sure.
That's like Bran.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bran has
Like
his
Jojen.
green sight.
Liz asked off camera, what does green seer mean? That's like Bran and Jojen, yeah.
And it
Okay.
makes sense that also would explain like they spent the time to make giant chains to
Yeah,
You know,
I keep seeing
chains
people
don't
ask about
bother
the
The chains don't bother me.
Okay, they've got time to go get some chains.
Yeah, the
from
way
somewhere.
that they've been moving around time this season, that could be months later for all we know.
That's the thing, is that I think there's just kind of a divide between what people are willing to suspend their disbelief on. And for us, we aren't willing to suspend our disbelief when it comes to characters acting dumb.
Yes.
For instance,
Great
Jon not
point,
getting on the
James.
dragon. But when it comes to certain capabilities, especially of magical beings that we don't
Like,
know a
I
lot
don't
about,
care.
I don't care that they have ice spears. I don't care that his arm is that good that he can throw it and hit a flying dragon.
I don't care that they have giant
I
chains.
don't care that they
it's
have
fine.
giant
We
chains.
don't know anything about
Yeah.
them. We don't know what
Yeah.
their
Who knows?
society's like. Like we've barely seen. It's fine.
Yeah, but
But
do
the thing
care.
I do care that the Night King decided to throw the spear at the dragon that not everyone is on that I want to be
That
killing
is
in this
staying
moment.
perfectly
Closer
still and
No, I'm
closer.
gonna like show
Stationary.
off, and this is gonna look really cool, guys. Watch this, and it is fucking cool. Again, micro in a vacuum, dragon being shot out of the sky with a
Awesome.
spear.
Amazing
Really
visual.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
The dragons all looked
Yeah.
so
But
great.
then
Yeah.
macro, why the fuck would you not just spear Drogon, who's right there, and then all the people that you need to die are on the dragon?
And you have an ice dragon, like the biggest ice dragon, and
Yeah.
it's closer to you, and it's on the ground standing still. What?
So
What?
yeah, to
Yeah.
get there, we have our all is lost moment. Jon is just feeling the feelings. We're about to be lost, and then a cool shot of suddenly just the air around getting like very like orange and filled with flame.
Cool shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In isolation.
Yeah.
Micro.
And then
yes.
it starts burning around, and then there's the cool shot of them underwater. Like the
Yes.
lights falling underwater.
Mhm.
Gorgeous.
Like the way like the flame just ruptures the ice was cool.
One question though, and that another thing that just pissed me off.
Ah.
Why didn't we see Dany on her dragon or any of the dragons trying to flame the White Walkers that were standing
trying to
there?
yeah, right.
I
Yeah.
Okay,
understand
the
that they're kind of invulnerable too, because you
The-
see him walk through the fire.
The argument could be made that,
That they
she
did?
doesn't know.
Oh. There's these
sure.
offset guys
No,
Yeah.
but
standing over
sure,
the battlefield.
but Danny's not the most brilliant military anything.
Dude, you know that those are commanders. She's been in
It's just
could've
like
wars.
been
they're
focused on
clearly
getting
like
her boys.
they're clearly a threat. My first thought is like, cool, I'm gonna flame them with my dragon.
Yeah.
Even if like there's no
Yeah.
guarantee that it's
Like that's your George Washington. Like go
Sure, that's your Tywin Lannister
Yeah.
commanding from the rear.
Although to be fair, she didn't attack Jamie, although he was like among his troops. So that
He
can
was
be
among his
forgiven.
troops. Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
up there you can't tell that that's Jamie Lannister. These dudes are chilling, overlooking everything, and you could argue maybe she did, but it didn't affect them because when they walk through the fire, it's on fire right in front of them. So maybe
Yeah,
they think a fire
so
went through.
maybe
But, like,
they
show
repel
us
fire.
that. Show us her breathing fire on them,
I
and then being like,
don't
"We're cool."
know. I
It
don't
just pissed
know.
me off, man. It's needless. Setting
None-
up
okay.
this ice dragon.
That sin is nowhere near as egregious
Yes.
Is it time for Jon running away?
as
Yeah.
Jon not getting on the goddamn dragon.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Single most
Now
frustrating.
Jon, we've been led this whole series to come to understand Jon is a really good long-term guy. His whole thing is like, let's get the wildlings and the Night's Watch to like work together and like long-term guys, I swear to God, long-term, we need to do this because bigger picture, there's this threat that we need to take care of. Meanwhile, Jon in tonight's episode, just like, I don't, like long they can come back. They can come back. Like they need to make sure everyone survives and they can get all the dragons out and they can all come back and like try again.
Especially if you buy into we need to capture a white to take it down to King's Landing to prove to Cersei that this threat is real. If that is the plan, and Jon this whole time has been, like you said, Chels, like long-term thinking, he's not carrying out the plan.
Yeah, he's like, actually no, I'm gonna like go try and just like solve all this shit right
And
now.
Yeah,
someone-
it's unclear what it is. Is it going to kill the Night King? Is it just fending off enough people so that they can get away? Both. One doesn't make sense, and the other one also doesn't make sense because they're not that close.
Yeah.
He could back
Also,
up, keep
there's a
defending.
dragon.
Yeah.
Who can swing its tail and be fine.
Swing its tail, swing its face. Either.
And also, when it took off, we saw the shot of how its wings blew out a bunch of whites like away from it.
oh,
Yeah,
really?
could've
So
Perfect. Great.
could have done that and been fucking fine. So
So yeah, I see people saying, well, he's done this before in Battle of the Bastards, and he's done this before in this episode. The times that I've noted, he like rushes headfirst into battle. But I don't see why it makes sense when his escape
When
van
you've
is
won!
there. When,
when
won.
you did
Why do
here,
this? Why kill a few more
checklist
whites?
checklist for this entire mission. Capture White. Check. Great. Leave.
Yeah.
You didn't come here to like fix everything. This was not like the end game.
Yeah.
And
Well,
even
no.
if he has the
Like,
plan
it
to actually go kill the Night King, which it kind of seems like maybe he's doing, he's fighting his way there, and you're like, oh, maybe that's why he did this stupid dumbass thing. Then he like gets a clear look at him and is like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I better
Actually,
go.
no. Oops.
It's not looking at Dany and being like, I need to get down there. It's like, no, I don't want to kill this guy right now. I can't.
Maybe he's just afraid of his feelings, guys.
Yeah.
And
I
know that people are going to say,
yeah.
well, he got up there and saw the Night King getting another spear, and he realized that could kill another dragon. So he turned around and was like, Dany, get out of here.
I'm gonna go fight my way through this horde of undead to kill this super being.
But then did he even attempt to do that afterward?
Arguably.
He did. Okay, so what happened? The dragon took off. Drogon takes off with everyone on it. Magic School Bus. And then Jon gets tackled like immediately by whites.
So we don't know if he was like
No.
going to pursue.
He didn't even
the
get a
Night
chance
King.
to like try and be a hero. He just gets tackled.
We're about to get to like more
And that's it.
bullshit, but in this moment, if I think from like the results-oriented D&D writing of this episode, you could have a dragon get killed another way besides Jon like making them stay too long and getting things distracted. You could just not have him be acting not like himself. So I gotta think that they wanted a dragon to die, and also for he and Dany to have another emotional moment where somehow he didn't make it out of the battle with them, and she had to longingly look out over the wall for him. Like that's something that they wanted, and they put
and her
those
to
two.
see his wounds.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think what they
exactly.
also wanted was a reason to have Uncle Benjen come back
I
to have Uncle
I
Benjen
completely
have a.
disagree.
I know.
I think what happened is they were like, shit, how does Jon get out of this?
Oh, not Rhaegal? Not
Uh,
Rhaegal? Something on theme and symbolic? Okay.
Yeah, right. He could have. He
we
could
thought
have.
the
He
third
could have.
dragon
He
would.
could have suddenly gotten on and ridden a dragon named after his father.
Oh yeah, that would have
But
been cool.
instead-
No. Hey,
Instead, they
Yeah.
were like, "Oh shit, how does Jon get out of this?" Uncle Benjen.
Uncle Benjen.
We got this character lying around.
Yeah,
We're
we
not
don't know
doing
what to
anything.
do with him. Let's kill him off. How does
I
Benjen
literally
know?
didn't even realize that the third like rogue dragon was Rhaegal. Why the fuck wouldn't they have done that? And then I would have been like, okay, at least this also served the purpose of like Jon is a dragon rider. That's huge. You can't just fucking like ride a dragon.
And
It's
his,
the
like,
whole thing.
The one name for his dad went back for him. Recognition.
Yes.
You think?
Yeah.
You think
It'd
that
be like
you
a
thi-
blood
yeah.
tie.
You think that Dany and Jon would have had like a nice like falling in love moment after Jon rode a fucking dragon?
Yes.
They could've had
No.
it.
It
Uncle
also would have been
Benjen.
fine, just before we dive full into Benjen Ex Machina, if like I understand that Dany saw the Night King and now it's super serious, but like shouldn't she at least have one line about like, dude, you kind of killed my dragon? Like, shouldn't that be a point of conflict? Jon's brashness and running into war, and the fact that his dumbass behavior got one of her children killed.
She also like barely reacted to that, which I think again is more. Amelia Clarke isn't a very good actor.
I
Abigail
disagree.
is
I
asking,
think-
where was Benjen that whole fucking time? He
riding
was
from
in-
what's the castle next to Castle Black where he met
Oh, the
Shadowfell?
Rat King.
the Rat
Cook
King one, the Night
Castle.
Fort.
The
Yeah.
Night Fort.
Yeah, riding from the Night Fort.
He was just in plot land. Like
Oh,
he didn't need
man.
to be there until then, so he wasn't.
And then, there's no time.
There's no time.
no time.
There's no time to get on this horse.
Also,
There's no
two
time.
people definitely can't fit on a horse. I need to go out in like the coolest way possible.
Yeah.
Uncle Benjen, let's go.
There's no time.
There's no
There's
time.
no
I
time.
have to be out of Belfast in the morning.
There's no time. There's only 7 episodes left, man. They gotta start killing people off.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. In my list, I forgot to name him because it was what? Oh, you're here and then you're gone. I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot.
There's no time.
There's no time.
Yeah, no time for Benjen to tell Jon that Arv.
Literal tagline for this season. There's no time. We
No
gotta move on.
time.
There's no time. Don't question it.
Man,
Okay.
Benjen deserves better.
He did.
What a
Wow, that's that.
What a
but
that's
in,
that
the, in the
battle.
books, we'll probably never see Benjen again, though.
No, I doubt that.
Could-
I think
could
we'll
be.
see him.
I don't know.
Such a
I don't know.
stupid
Dumb.
thing.
There's still
Guys,
more
dumb.
episodes
Rhaegal,
left.
instead of saving Jon, Rhaegal just flew
Yeah,
away.
Rhaegal's
Yeah,
like,
he's just
"Oh,
gone.
fuck."
We didn't even see him back at the wall.
Now I wish it would have been Sirio. He should have rescued him.
He should have.
But
Oh my
he
god.
did. And so did Dario.
So did Dario.
So I'm just saying, maybe
So did
Rhaegal
Jack
ran
and-
away.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Rhaegal flew away.
Rhaegal. Well, that's
Maybe he was
that's
like,
exactly
"Oh
what
shit, we
happened.
can die," and then he like peaced out and went back to
Yeah.
Essos,
Yeah.
where there ain't no Night King.
He
just-
took
yeah.
that northern passage.
Yeah.
And maybe connects. Who knows?
Why the fuck didn't they do that?
I don't know, man.
Why didn't they have Jon ride?
I don't know, baby. We'll get
Because
through
they
it.
probably
We'll get
they
through it.
probably have that planned for the beat at the end of another episode.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
an episode ending.
Yeah.
We have to write to the endings of each episode.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So we're
The,
back.
Everything.
the complete antithetical way in which George writes the series, but whatever.
So literally. So we're back at Eastwatch, and Sandor is taking the booty, that white booty.
Because again,
Ew.
they're probably writing to the end of an episode, which is Clegane Bowl.
Clegane Bowl.
Yes.
It's
Which,
happening.
whatever, that,
Confirmed.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, you can
I'm fine
have,
with
like,
that. Also, someone pointed out, and I wondered this myself during the episode. Sandor gets bitten by a white.
He doesn't
They're
get
they're
bitten.
not
I paid
zombies.
more
I
attention.
don't know, man.
I paid
Are
more
they-
attention to this episode. He doesn't get bitten. He tears off the face.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you know
okay.
what? They could just whatever.
Oh,
Anyway.
White Sandor versus Ungregor.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
there
I
could
see.
be a number of people if they're already going for this meeting, like an envoy to bring the guy along, the white. But Sandor, just make him go. Okay.
In theory, this is going to be when Cersei, springs her inevitable trap.
There's gonna be a trap, and I don't see how these people aren't gonna be ready for it. Tyrion's like, we don't need a trap. We're different. Break the wheel. Whatever that means.
Jon rides back
Yeah.
to the wall.
Oh, Jorah's like, we gotta go.
Oh yeah.
Why?
What?
Just a little longer.
Yeah. She's on her literal
Widow's
widow's
watch.
Yeah.
God damn it.
And Jorah's like, "Hey, I was there when they were born too. Really sucks. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
This place sucks."
This place sucks.
Yeah. Why did I come up here again?
Yeah.
He used to live in the north, but his blood from being in Essos, it's constricted. He's not used to it. It's so cold for him now.
Jon gets back on his horse and rides, and he's there. Then we get he's on the boat right away when we see him.
I think
recovered.
there's a Winterfell scene in between that we've already talked about.
Oh yeah,
so
we are. Yeah,
we
yeah.
can go right to that.
But no,
boat.
we don't see him at the wall. We see him on the boat, right?
Yeah.
When they're cutting off his frozen clothes, which is cool. That's great. When they're tearing off his frozen clothes and you hear that
Micro
ice,
moments, very
Crunchy.
good.
Yeah.
awesome
Ooh, woo.
crunchy
Sound.
frozen things. And then his body's literally steaming, which is also
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Like as the snow like sublimates. And
I
stuff.
still don't know why before the show and the characters within the show needed to hide that Jon was resurrected. There are a lot of explanations. It was just too much to believe. But it does service having this moment where Dany
she
maybe
sees
suspects
it.
that he did die.
Yeah, she sees those stab wounds. Great. Then we hop over to Winterfell, and then when we come back, and Jon wakes up, and in the most cliche romantic comedy romance
The
shot
rack
ever,
focus
the
you're
rack
talking about?
focus of his blurry eyes
Yeah.
To
coming into focus on
Dany.
Danny.
And not Daenerys,
backlit.
Dany.
Yeah, Danny.
Which
He
it-
called her Dany.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
I
He's like,
ship
you
it.
can't do
They
that.
barely
Only book
know
readers
each
call me
other.
Danny.
I ship it,
Yeah.
but not this way. I didn't want to get it.
ship it.
I
like
ship
it.
I like
ship
no
it.
chemistry.
Not like down with
I ship it.
this.
But yeah, not like this.
Not
Never
like this.
Like this.
It's just it's lazy directing. I think it's a lazy way to shoot a scene where people fall in love. Is this?
I think they have no chemistry together.
Oh, they're fine.
I like their chemistry.
I like it. I like
I
them.
think
I'll watch them make love.
I think well,
I'll watch that scene.
I think that you're probably going to see it next episode.
Next? I don't know.
I ship
that
it-
seems
sorry,
like a
go ahead.
season finale thing after this bullshit on the ship,
I
on the
wonder-
literal ship.
Yeah, I wonder
the
whether
only one
they're
here
going to
who's-
get the
you're
news
fine.
before or after they've boned. that Jon is nephew.
Oh, I hope during.
Someone comes
They
in, my
interrupt the
lady.
rape. By the way,
Like Miss
They keep
Sunday
going.
comes
They keep
in.
going.
Miss Sunday comes in and is like, "Yeah, Grey Worm did just like
Yeah,
that."
Bran like rolls in with his wheelchair. Like, hey guys, I know you're fucking right now, but that wouldn't be the first time he's walked in on two people fucking to just like ruin their good
Two
time.
family members.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bran's like, oh, that's just me being
That's-
Bran.
aw, not
Don't throw me out a
again."
window.
This show is evoking season 1 so much. I wouldn't put it past them.
So they hold hands, like sweet little high school lovers. They hold
Jesus.
hands, and she's like, "Oh, I've seen the Night King. I'm with you. We'll do it to it." And he's all like, "My queen."
Which is good.
It's
because
good.
It
that
makes
there
sense.
was textual evidence for that decision earlier
With the Tormund scene.
with the Tormund scene and with all the Mance Raider stuff that they've laid out in the last few episodes. So I'm fine with Jon realizing that the right way to do it is let's join forces.
Yeah, put the pride aside.
Right.
Deal with it later.
She's
That's
made
cool.
an incredible sacrifice by going up there and then losing a child, a
Which
dragon.
she barely reacted to, but sure.
And
I don't
And-
think so.
You
how do you
know.
feel about Emilia Clarke's reaction to the dragon dying?
It didn't bother me as much as I think it bothered.
It
You
sounds like
guys-
Gressel's the most bothered.
'Cause
I'm not.
I
that
think
bothered.
that I could see it being shock, and I think
Yeah,
at
that's how I
this point
interpreted
it.
she's just like hardened
I
to
think
everything.
the character is too hard. I think the way that she plays the character is
Well, then how do you
too
feel about Maisie
stone-faced.
Williams and her performance?
I'm not loving it
Oh.
since the In at the Crossroads scene with Hot Pie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't been in love with her performance and
Like
so
the style
so
of it?
yeah, so like back off me people in the chat for being against Emilia
are
Clarke
against Emilia
because
Clarke,
I am
dog.
against Emilia Clarke, but I'm very pro Maisie Williams. So Maisie Williams' performance hasn't been great, and I think that playing these characters with what is some kind of like absence of emotion
I think
is a bad choice. Whether it's the directors, the showrunners, the actors, I don't love it, and I want to see more emotion from Dany. Like, why isn't she letting her guard down with in where she's only with Tyrion? When it's Tyrion and Daenerys, why isn't she just letting her guard down and acting like a normal person? She's still like, I have to break the wheel. I am Daenerys. Like,
She did let her guard down with
No,
Tyrion.
she
She gave that wry little look
didn't.
when he was like, "Jon loves you." She was like,
everyone's
alarms
alarms
are
are
going
going off.
but she could have acted like a person
Why won't it stop?
instead of acting like
Why won't it stop?
fucking Daenerys Stormborn, first of her name. Like, I just want.
Why won't it stop?
"No, I'm legit looking. I don't know why it won't stop."
I don't know why it won't stop.
This
you
will
mute
be
it?
a nice romantic lullaby for that love scene. Okay.
Anyway,
Then she says, "You should get some rest."
oh god, this is
Okay,
the worst
here.
part of the whole
Let's
episode.
all
This just makes no goddamn
do our
sense.
impression. Okay, so I'll
Alright.
say okay.
You're
What
gonna-
does she
you're
say?
gonna say
all
you
three of us are gonna do
You
it.
should get some rest.
Yeah,
You
okay.
can do it too.
Or we're gonna look right at the camera.
Okay,
and then
so- Yeah, Liz, you say
Liz
you should
say
get some
you should get
rest,
some
and then
rest.
we'll be John.
You should get some rest.
Immediate.
so bad.
Not-
It's like something out of like a mystery science theater movie.
And then he like squints his eyes tighter,
Like,
and it's
and then
like,
I'm just waiting for him to be like,
and he
like-
kind of
like-
does.
Yeah.
She leaves, and then
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
He opens them up again and be like,
He's like,
did it
"Oh,
work?
good. Did it work? Did she leave?
Yeah,
She
that was
bought
the
it.
weirdest
Ferris
fucking
Bueller.
thing I've ever seen.
Bueller. Yeah.
That was so weird. Why did they direct him
Like they just
like, why were
didn't get
they
a
like,
cut that
yes,
they needed, but that
that's
moment
the
had to
good
happen.
Take. That's the best take. Good. That honestly kind of like came off to me as like an editing fix. Like they were like, oh shit, like we don't have a take where he goes to sleep good enough, but we'll grab it from like another.
It's just the
spot.
it's just the end of a different take where he happens to close it, like reposition.
Yeah, it's like not
Where
even him
he's,
being
like,
John. It's just
in-
Kit being like, oh.
Oh, we gotta do another
Oh,
take,
no,
and they just
yeah.
like took the
And then
sound
the eyes
out.
squeezing is just like, God, it's so long of a day.
That's what that felt
I'm
like
gonna
to
gift
me.
the fuck out of that.
Yeah, it's
Oh
absurd.
my god.
Oh man, is that the
weird
end except for the
thing.
end?
What's
Yeah.
the Ice
White
Dragon.
Dragon.
And then White
Dragging that boy.
which is cool.
It
Ice-
is cool.
again,
Sure,
micro.
yeah, it's
Micro
White
moment in a
Dragon.
vacuum. White Dragon, fucking cool. Yep.
Fucking awesome.
But I wish they
Blue-eyed
hadn't
dragon.
built 2 episodes around
getting it
Trying
there.
to
just
make-
like how do we get a
How
dragon
do we
north of
get
the wall?
to this point? How do we
Yeah.
get to this shot of the dragon's eye opening? And then they
Fair.
scripted to that, and it sucked.
But
And now-
on an
yeah.
island, White Dragon's cool.
And I don't know what they are scripting to next episode because I think
Clegane
these-
Bowl.
Yeah, well,
Game Bowl for sure. Please.
but everything else, like these 3 episodes for me, are tainted by coming up with the plan makes no sense, doing the plan up north makes no sense,
And then-
completing the plan down south in King's Landing makes.
That's
no
the thing
sense.
is, I feel like just the taint of this episode is just gonna roll straight into the finale
That's the
because
issue, yeah.
they have to bring their dumbass plan to King's Landing, so we have to deal with the fallout of how stupid that was.
An armistice with Cersei is ludicrous.
You can't make an armistice with Cersei.
Well,
and
let's-
you know who
ludicrous.
should know that is Tyrion.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
And Tyrion thinks that this is a great idea.
Let's talk predictions. It's getting
Sure.
late, so we did watch the preview for the next episode. We will be referencing that. So if you consider that spoilers and you don't want to know that, now would probably be a good time to leave. But let's talk a little bit about what we think may happen in the next episode. It looks as though the armistice meeting is happening. They're meeting in the fucking
Dragon Pit.
Dragon Pit,
which is
which
pretty
is
legit.
cool.
That's
cool.
So I think Liz asked after the episode was over and we were freaking out about it, like, what's the Dragon Pit? King's Landing has 3 big hills, and on one is the Sept of Baelor. On another is the
Maegor's
Red
hold
Keep.
fast.
The Red
Oh, Red
Keep.
Keep.
Red
yeah,
Keep.
Maegor's Holdfast.
Yeah,
Both
Which
of
is
them.
part of the
Red
Red
Keep.
Keep,
The Red
smaller
Keep.
part with it.
And
yeah.
then
and
the
then the third
Dragon
hill
Pits.
is the Dragon Pit, and so it was like a big construction and part of the city back when there were dragons, because that's
And
where the Targaryens would
The
keep
reason
them.
that there's like 3 of them is like the castle was like Aegon's,
Mhm.
and then the
the
Dragon Pit is Visenya's, and
Yeah.
the Sept is
Rhaenys.
Rhaenys. Yeah.
Yeah,
thanks.
they're all named after the
Yeah,
the
because it's Aegon's Hill.
and the 2 sisters.
Yeah. So it's cool to see it, and it
Yeah.
fell into disarray after the dragons died.
And it's
They're-
where they kept the dragons, and I think even in like season 1, they mentioned like the dragons never got as big as they could because they would just
They were
keep the
kept in the
dragons
pit,
in the
yeah.
pit.
Yeah.
So
In the books, aren't they hurting a bunch of sick people there? People with like the
In the
plague?
books,
Yeah, in the
yeah.
books,
Putting
it's
them in
it's
the
like
dragon
Yeah.
pit,
yeah,
just in case you
It's like the Superdome after Katrina,
yeah.
pretty yeah.
yeah,
which
wow.
is probably when that was written.
I could see that being a very intentional
Yeah.
image on
Mhm.
George's part.
So we're meeting there. Looks like all your favorites are there, honey. You
Yeah.
got Cersei.
Sunday,
you
Sunday,
got-
Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
it really is gonna be
Everyone's there. It
all
is the
your
party to be
faves
at.
in one place. Don't you love it?
This
we wrote
this
season.
episode has everything.
This
I saw
it's
Jamie and
got
Cersei. I'm
every-
assuming
John's there,
Mountain,
Danny's there,
Brienne.
Tyrion's
Mountain and
there.
Qyburn on that side.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, Brienne's there.
Well, she's
She
going
will
to
be.
Yeah. Also, Euron's fleet is there. If you
Euron's fleet is
if
there,
you've wondered like
Theon's
me
there.
for the past
And
2
Euron's
episodes,
Guys,
probably
where
there.
I
he
feel
is,
like-
That's a good question.
I feel like I'm gonna hate this finale. I hate
I'm very
the
worried.
idea of like fan servicey. Like, look at all these characters you like.
I really hate.
I hate it. That's not why
Guys,
I watch
before
this.
this episode, I will say that each
like-
week watching Game of Thrones, I think I could sense the excitement and enjoyment building. And each of us individually, at least I know I had these moments with you guys, would be like texting me like, I'm excited for Game of Thrones. Like I'm back into it. It feels good. I'm loving this show. I always had my reservations about the pace, and I think we're seeing the consequences of that crazy pace now.
Yeah.
But
We didn't even
overall-
talk about how bad that is.
Overall, I think we've been enjoying this.
I really
until
liked this
episode.
season until this.
And
Well,
I mean, until the plan.
until
Oh,
the
okay,
plan.
until
Yeah,
the
until
plan.
the plan
Yeah.
last
Man.
episode, I would
Oh,
say,
we need to
for
have
me.
a death board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
will.
we'll write up a death board and we'll
Oh,
probably
before the
tweet it
episode?
out
That sounds
before,
good. Yeah.
Instagram
We'll
it
draw
before.
it up. So follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Practical Folks.
Yeah, we'll do a
all
death
have our-
pool.
We did this last year. We'll rank 10
God.
characters in the order
That
that we
Sept
think.
just fucked me last year.
Yeah, it fucked up all of us.
I think
I won.
Chelsea or James won.
I think I won.
James won.
But
Yeah.
it was close.
That was on my whiteboard for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also got Grey Worm was going to be there. We saw that.
Sure.
Cool.
Grey Worm and the Dothraki are like
Yeah.
outside
It
the
looks
city
like
walls.
it looks like the Unsullied do their formations outside, and then the Dothraki run through it.
Yeah.
If anyone was wondering, like I was, where is Theon? He wouldn't have been a good fighter to take up north, but I still wondered where he was
Whatever,
this
we'll
past
get it. Maybe
episode.
he'll
die. Who?
He's in the
Theon.
mix. He'll be
Oh,
there.
Whatever.
Maybe he'll die.
Who?
Theon.
Yeah, maybe.
Good. Fuck
Dude,
Theon.
it literally. Do you guys remember the animation by Neil Sistrika, the like Ultimate Showdown?
Yeah.
That's like what this
Yeah.
episode feels like it's leading up to, and I hate it so much.
Old Cersei
It's
Lannister
gonna
is
be
walking
like
around.
Cersei killing Brienne killing this, and just like a chain of all of the characters killing each other in the most fan servicey bullshit way. Please, I hope it's not that.
I just like.
I don't trust them anymore. Though.
Can you imagine? All right, Chelsea, as our resident Cersei,
yeah.
can you imagine
Oh God,
if this is the way that Cersei goes out?
I'll be so mad.
She had nothing this season.
I'll be. So
She had
mad.
Alari and Tyene.
Cool.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
a good scene.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that was
They
a really
were
good
building
scene, but
like her whole. I feel like
Baby.
it kind of dropped off.
Baby.
Like she was like on a roll. Everything was great, which in Game of Thrones terms means like shit's about to go down for that character. But then I feel like it kind of dropped off, and I'll be really upset if next week she dies and we didn't really get.
I don't think she's
Any-
gonna.
I don't think
I don't think she will. I would be
think-
pissed.
I think there is a chance. We get a fucking team up.
which
We get Game
I'll
of
be
Thrones
so mad,
Infinity
guys. I'm saying right now, as like the biggest Cersei fan, I will be pissed if they have Cersei decide, you know what, I'm gonna team up with all these other people because that'll be better for me. And the like, no, that's not. Cersei doesn't. Cersei doesn't make friends.
I hope to God
It would be so out of
we don't get
character,
that.
and I would feel like it would be such a mishandling of such a great villain that I would be so upset if that's what they do.
I mean, there's a lot of ways they could go with this. They could kill a second dragon so that they're down to one.
That would be insane.
They could. We could lose a lot of
There's one
minor
thing
characters.
that
Everything's
is gonna
go
happen,
fine.
almost definitely.
Clegane Bowl.
Oh, you think Littlefinger's gonna die, huh?
Little-
Oh, that's for
Littlefinger-
that's for sure.
Littlefinger's
Yeah.
time is
They're
up.
kind of
Yeah.
building to it.
Whether you
And-
believe.
I do
I
think
they
it
know
would
what they're
be
doing.
bullshit.
Sad.
I do think it'll be bullshit if Cersei lasts longer than Littlefinger. Littlefinger's
Which
more
it-
important.
It looks like I know that's the crazy thing is that for this entire series, Littlefinger has been one of the most important, and this is obviously coming from a Littlefinger giant fan. But I don't think it's an exaggeration to say he is one of the most important characters to the series and the plot.
Mhm.
And he's gonna die next episode, man.
But he's a character whose defining characteristic is subtlety. Same with Varys. Varys has been completely sidelined because his defining characteristic is
Yeah.
subtlety and subterfuge, and
They, haven't
they
been putting
don't
him to
know
good
how
use.
to write that.
Absolutely. He
Yeah.
has been delivering ravens. That's not his job. He has
Yeah,
not been
he's not a
doing anything
maester.
Spymaster related.
I'm
I
so
wonder
sad.
if we're finally going to get some out of nowhere twist that someone in Danny's camp is a traitor. I don't know. I don't see it coming, but whatever.
I'm not going to make any predictions.
I don't-
Littlefinger's going to die. Other than that, I have no
That's
idea.
my one
Uh,
prediction.
know.
I've got like a season
I predict
8
Clegane
thoughts.
Bowl.
As long as Sansa kills him, not
Yeah.
Arya.
I'll be
I hope
pissed
they
if
They
it's
can do it
Arya.
together. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
But
if it's just Arya
There's
killing him,
no poetry to Arya killing Littlefinger.
there's no poetry
No.
to anyone killing him except for Sansa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is the only one who
Yep.
needs to kill Littlefinger.
I mean, she has his dagger, so.
yeah.
Jor,
she does
Jor
have
is
it
a
now.
traitor again.
Again, no!
Yeah.
Curse you.
Damn it.
Do
He
you
just
think?
can't help it.
I like that. I like that.
Do you think next episode we're
Leslie.
gonna get the Targaryen reveal on Jon?
Nope.
Yeah. No. What?
Nope.
No.
I think we should. I don't know if we will.
I don't
I
think
th-
we
I
will.
think I don't think John's gonna find out about it. Someone else might.
Oh, we should do
Oh,
episode
Winterfell?
title predictions like we did last week, where it was like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, it wasn't released yet.
oh boy,
Dragon Pit.
Oh, that's a safe
dragon
one.
pitting all your faves
Clegane,
against each
Clegane
other.
Bowl Roman numeral 1.
Whoa.
King's Justice League.
King's
Oh,
Fuck you,
no.
John.
Fingerless.
Aw.
Fingerless. Oh.
Oh.
Um.
No.
I don't think
No.
Jamie.
Jamie. No,
It'd be
because
cool if he
him
did,
and
though.
Brienne
Him
have
and
to live
Brienne have
happily
to
ever after.
have sex
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Jamie has to take out Cersei, and I don't see that happening this episode. I think she's gonna be fine.
She could die in childbirth.
Yeah. Here's something
Yeah.
that we said to look out for. It'll be instructive to see how much time is really passing with that whole Wight adventure, if Cersei has a bump or not.
Oh,
True.
That's true.
I
'Cause they
don't.
took a ship up there.
There's a good
I would love for her
image
to die
of her from the
childbirth.
preview. I actually.
I
Oh,
mean,
that's
did.
true.
the storylines
I
don't
don't-
line up one to one.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we can.
But now they're
I mean,
meeting.
they do
Yeah.
enough because we have like fixed points in time when
We have.
the,
Yeah.
the battle of the loot
There's
crate.
no.
and then
She has
Tyrion
like
was
flat
there.
as fuck abs.
All right,
in
whatever.
the preview.
I want to return to the question that we asked last time about like, what if season 8 is mostly or half or all politics?
I'll be disappointed.
Here's
If
something.
they take care of the
Yeah.
Night King next episode, I'll be.
It's
don't
very
think it's
well,
next
it's not going to be
episode.
at next episode. If anything,
You don't think we're gonna see Ice Dragon next episode?
No, we're
Maybe
No,
going to
'cause
see
they're
Ice Dragons. They're going to
south.
take down the wall. I'm
Oh,
going to
that's
say
right.
that too.
Yeah. Okay,
Ice
the
Dragon's
wall's
going to take
coming
down
down.
the wall.
Okay.
just
God,
breathe.
you're
Maybe it has
holding on to
blue
that?
fire.
I
and
will
just, like,
add. Yes,
I'm
I
gonna
will
You think
say-
it'll
say.
breathe fire?
The
this Ice
point
Dragon?
of the
Blue
Ice
fire.
Dragon is to take down the wall. I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
if it's
Ooh,
going to.
blue fire.
Blue fire would be badass.
I think
Yeah.
the
I don't
wall's
know.
coming
Hot fire.
down.
I think it might just be regular fire, but I think that wall's coming down.
Yeah, I agree.
I hope
The
so.
point of the Ice Dragon was to get the wall down and to attack the north with.
Break the
the
If
army
if
that
not,
died.
you get a cheap shuttle service to get whites over the wall. Just like dig him up, drop him off, go back over, dig him up.
That's
yeah.
true.
But
yeah.
that'll be very last thing.
That'll be the very last
Yeah.
scene. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
wall
coming
coming
down.
down.
The wall
Yeah.
coming down.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
then it's like
Um,
next season, there's no wall.
Yeah. Oh shit.
But here's something that was mentioned on the. This is an interview with George R. R. Martin in Rolling Stone 2014, and this was mentioned on the Storm Spoilers podcast. But I just want to read this because it made me think that if the show, well, I'll read it and then we can talk about it. So this is him talking about Tolkien. He said, "Ruling is hard. This was maybe my answer to Tolkien, whom, as much as I admire him, I do quibble with. Lord of the Rings had a very medieval philosophy that if the king was a good man, the land would prosper. We look at real history, and it's not that simple. Tolkien can say that Aragorn became king and reigned for 100 years, and he was wise and good. But Tolkien doesn't ask the question."
I
What
know,
was-
yeah.
yeah. What was Aragorn's tax policy? Did he maintain a standing army? What did he do in times of flood and famine? What about all the orcs? By the end of the war, Sauron is gone, but the orcs aren't. They're in the mountains. Did Aragorn pursue a policy of systematic genocide? Kill them all? Baby orcs in their little orc cradles? The war that Tolkien wrote about was a war for the fate of civilization and for the future of humanity. And that's become the template. I'm not sure it's a good template, though. The Tolkien model led generations of fantasy writers to produce these endless series of dark lords and evil minions who are all very ugly and black, wearing black clothes. But the vast majority of wars throughout history are not like that. So we've been building, I've been thinking for a long time, towards season 8, all-out battle, bad, evil guys who are supernatural versus our good human friends that we've spent 7 seasons with. But maybe it's going to be more complicated than that if they're following George's notes.
Yeah. That's why I think Jon and Dany will turn against each other.
I don't.
That's what I want.
That's what I want.
I'm just saying I don't want it to be like a fake out with the White Walkers and then human. I want it all to be a big old mess and nothing's clean.
Yeah.
But with the supernatural giant presence there, we're taking care of like we said, as the climax of the show, and then give us some episodes of denouement where it's like shit still sucks.
Yeah, how
I
what do you do
we're gonna
after
get that in the show?
Yeah.
After this episode,
I think the show might. The
show-
books will be different. I think the show might ultimately go the
we're-
route of like fan servicey, yay, everyone's happy. It's like
It's only 6
typical.
episodes.
it's only 6 episodes.
That's not
There-
a lot of time.
There have been a lot of comments recently with like the show's just fan fiction. It's not fan fiction. It's the show. The show and the books are so vastly different now. The show is the show and the books are the books. George has an influence because he created the world, and I think you're very right to bring that quote up, Joel. That's a very important thing to think about. But it's not fan fiction. The show's the show. If it were fan fiction, believe me, there'd be more episodes.
It's true.
It would not be a 7-episode, 6-episode situation. If it were fan fiction, this show would be going on forever because there's no shortage of fan opinions about this series. So I think it's unfair to reduce this to saying it's fan fiction. The show is the show. critique it as the show.
The plan was kind of fan fiction.
The plan was stupid. It wasn't fan fiction. Fan fiction is
You don't think some
Jon and
teenage
Dany.
girl is sitting on her bed writing about 7 of the hottest, finest warriors in Westeros and how they have to go up north where it's real
Someone
cold and
has
they might
written
have to
that
snuggle.
already.
fan
on
fiction would have been
fanfiction.net
Tormund
already.
actually like snuggling Gendry. Been like, what did I tell you?
Well, I guess we gotta lose one, but make it the priest. He's not gonna get with anybody. Everyone else is
Yeah.
still a
He's
romantic
just this
possibility.
ugly old drunk.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
All right.
Anything else, guys? Because we have a
It's
cool
late.
idea that we're
Yeah,
for sure
we got to
gonna
do that.
Yeah.
We got to do it.
Okay.
It's so fun.
And that's something that you guys are gonna get soon.
Watch out. Yeah, keep an eye on the channel in the next
Shit,
couple
who-
days.
All right. We'll talk logistics after.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thanks,
Tyrion and Dany
Selenis.
scene show indicating that no one will end up on the Iron Throne. Westeros becomes a dock.
Possibly.
Yeah.
We definitely
Yeah,
have to see
it's
for that,
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's curious to see how that
I
might
like
work.
that idea a lot.
All the
Anyway.
whites vote.
Oh.
Oh, I meant WIG.
Joel.
All right. All right, Joel. Not the
no.
atmosphere. Oh, also Neldog628. Yo, I saw your plan earlier. Neldog628 says the season finale title is going to be The Fall. If it is, he'll donate $50. I saw that. I'm holding you to it, dog.
Yeah.
The Fall. It could be The
I
Fall.
saw that too.
It could definitely be The Fall. Or the plan. No.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
The end of our great plan.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that'll do it for tonight.
Yep.
Thank you. This was a hell of a discussion.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
Thanks
guys
for being
weren't
here,
as
guys.
into
Yeah, it was mostly. I'm glad that everybody kind of saw the flaws again
and the pros.
and the pros, micro moments. It was
And
great.
Liz is here.
Hey Liz, say hi on microphone.
Hello.
Oh yeah, this is Liz.
Hi.
She's great.
I have nothing else
Yeah.
to say, but hi.
She watched it with us. She's gonna do this special thing with us too.
Yeah.
Which we're gonna go do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love the show. We just want to talk about when it isn't awesome.
Yeah.
Micro moments were great. Macro moments not great.
Yeah. So thanks for being on board with our discussion. I'm sure after the video is published, we'll get comments saying that we suck.
Oh,
We
yeah.
always do. It's
We're
cool.
such idiots. We don't know anything
We're
about the
dumb.
show.
Hey, if you like what we did, give the video a thumbs up.
Yeah,
That'll
give it
help.
a thumbs up
Make
so
us feel
that
good.
the whole
I
thing
said
isn't like
I said
dislikes.
Rickon when I meant Dickon once, so I don't know anything about the series.
Yeah, how dare you?
Idiot.
Idiot.
Dumb idiot.
Cool guys.
All right.
Yeah. Well, next week's the finale.
Yeah.
That's hopefully called The Fall, so we can get $50. And until then, we'll discuss that live afterward. Until then, I'm James.
I'm James.
And Chelsea.
I'm Joel.
This has been what was that show we did last year where we like intercut clips of
That was a
old
good
episodes?
Oh, I
Was it-
wanted to
Oh,
just cut you
so-
off right there
was
so
it what-
badly.
What's on the
What's in the fridge?
Well, what is in the fridge?
what
I'm
is in the
hungry.
fridge? Pretty hungry.
Burritos.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Doritos in the fridge.
Dick butt, no.